You shouldn't be going.
Hello, welcome to James Stephens Park, Ballina. If you can see this screen and if you can hear my voice, you're live and you'll be able to watch the coverage when it starts at 14:25. Okay, thank you. Jimmy, can you hear me? What are you getting? What's wrong with the picture? We're too big, are we?
Camera. That's where you should be.
Where we should be is where? Okay, how's that picture now? Jimmy, you come in here, Jimmy, come back as far as you can. Okay, okay.
Obviously, I'm going to clear that screen when you go live, yeah?
Yeah.
Just hand me my phone or wherever I left it. It's a black one.
Okay, lads, we're going live in 30 seconds. Everything okay, Liam?
Yeah.
If there's a panic, Liam, you got to call me, okay? And I get Edwin or someone in then.
What's the panic? If one person can't get
Well, no,
on.
if there's a major panic. Like.
You've got that.
If you're
shot,
struggling.
are you too far close? Because you've got the top of his head, then you just got his hand.
Paula, you only get the top of my head.
I'm not touching your head.
You're not getting my head at all.
Oh, it's my fault. It's my fault. My fault.
Oh, okay.
My fault. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So don't panic. Wait a second. No, wait a second. No, wait. See what happens here.
That's sorry.
Get the shot. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Hang on, just let me.
Is that okay?
Camera lens.
Yeah. It's the best I can do. Do you see that? I'll be-
Can you not go back further?
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
No. Okay. So that's that camera. I clear that screen. Yeah, you're live.
Welcome to James Stephens Park here in Ballina. We're now fully live. I'm joined by Jimmy Lyons here on MayoGATV.com. I'm Liam Horan, your host for the afternoon. We'll have Edwin McGrail commentating on the first game. That's between Louisburgh and Kilchimau. In the first of today's Eddie Egan Jewelers Mayo Intermediate Football Championship semi-finals. And Jimmy, you belong to that rare group of players who one has played in a senior final and played in a junior final, but never played in an intermediate final. You didn't bother intermediate at all.
That's right. For some reason, I missed out on that, but I was lucky enough to win the senior championship and lose a junior championship.
You were lucky to lose a junior final. Isn't it?
Yeah, actually, it was Kilmaine that beat us, and they lost out last week, so it's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
That wasn't the last time Kilmaine won the final, though, was it? Was that the day you were playing that day?
was,
92, is it?
92, yeah. Joe McGrath was playing as well for Kilmaine, yeah. Jimmy Burke, all those luminaries.
Okay. Well, today we have Louisburg and Kilchmaugh, the first game. The second game we've Bohol and Moy Davits and Island 80. And I'm going to look first of all at Louisburg versus Kilchmaugh. I'm going to start with Louisburg. Sometimes a team has a great winter run and they find it hard to maybe get their mojo going again the following year. We've certainly seen that with Westport this year in the Senior Championship. Stepping up obviously is an issue, but Louisburg got to the All-Ireland semi-final last year, having won Mayo and Connacht in the Junior Championship, and they've carried it through this year. And here they are in the semi-final and getting some good scores and playing some good football.
Yeah, well they have. Well, I suppose coming from junior, they've got momentum going from that point of view anyway. And they were beaten the All-Ireland semi-final, so they didn't have all the, I suppose, baggage of getting to an Ireland final and either losing or winning it. So they had a rest after that. They came back. They've had a good championship campaign. They're not doing so well in the league. But they would have lost a few players to America during the summer. I know Pádraig Prendergast would have been gone. He's back now. He's a massive addition to them going into the latter stage of the championship. But they were a good junior team last year. You know, they won well. They played good football. So I'm not surprised that they carried that momentum forward into intermediate. Yeah,
and in the All-Ireland semi-final against Glenbeigh Glencar, which we covered on localstreaming.club, they kicked I think 7 or 8 points early on to open up this magnificent lead. They just couldn't sustain it, but they showed them what they were capable of.
Exactly, yeah. They have the potential to go in bursts like that. They've good footballers later throughout the team, and they're up against a good Kerry team, of course, that time as well.
Darren O'Sullivan, of course, marauding there on that occasion.
Of course, yeah.
Kilchmaugh are nearer to you, and obviously in the neighbourly way, GA things go dearer to you as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, there's always a healthy rivalry between ourselves and Kilchmaugh. A lot of our lads go to school with their lads. So that's carried on through. They've been bubbling under for the last couple of years, and they've been very competitive, maybe under 1A level. So they've a good young team coming through. So I'm not surprised to see them at this stage of the championship again. And of course, they've done very well in the league. They're going to be in Division 1 next year, Division 1A, which will be a major boost. But they would like to go up as a senior championship team as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, okay, well, a place in the final up for grabs. MayoGATV.com. That's where we are. This will be archived afterwards as well. You can watch it back, and if you have people interested in getting on, go on to MayoGATV.com. For first timers, if you've navigated through the system, the key page is always the player page, the match player page on our website. That's where you get to see up and coming games. Second game, Jimmy, Bohol and Moy Davits and Island 80. You'd know quite a lot about Bohol and Moy Davits because you beat them in the 3-1 final, which were a Hamor team 2 years ago, I think.
That's right, yeah. Again, a team, they're a coming team. We've known about them at underage level for a good number of years. They won a Féile, an All-Ireland Féile, when they were under 14s, a lot of these players. And then they went and won the Mayo under 21 in 2013 with a lot of minor players. And they won the under 21 before the minor, which they won the following year. They reversed the usual way of doing that sort of thing. We played them then in 2015 in the under 21 final. Again, there are an awful lot of the players here. Very talented team, some very good forwards, very creative forwards, and good finishers as well. Again, they would be expecting to get back to senior very soon. Whether it'll happen this year or not remains to be seen.
Okay, and the final team of our four today, a team I have got to know quite well because they play my club Ballinrobe quite a bit in the same league, Island 80. They've always impressed me. I have to say, Cormac Gordon and Peter Collins at midfield are an excellent midfield pairing. Junior county player Peter Collins, certainly, I'm not sure, I presume Cormac Gordon is the Mayo junior as well. He's certainly good enough.
Certainly Peter Collins has been there. I've watched him play in the last few years. A very consistent midfielder. There are not an awful lot of names that would jump out at you from a county point of view, but they've been thereabouts. They're a team that are always a decent championship team, and again, I'm not surprised to see them maybe punching a little bit above their weight at this stage. No, because they tend to do that. Believe it or not, I know that might be a contradiction in terms, but they have they've come through a tough group to get here, and. Sorry, I'm just...
no problem, you find your notes there. I'm going to look through their team a little bit more. Ollie Feeney, a great servant of Close of Ireland 80, and Louisburg are out on the field, and they are of course trained again this year by John Kelly, who is a native of Bohol and Moy Davits, and he won an intermediate title at full forward. He certainly played in the final. I remember him playing in a final. I think they won it. But there's his Louisburg team out there. Back to Island 80, Jimmy. Yeah, they came through a tough group.
Yeah. and it's my Davids are favourites, and they're hot favourites. They're odds-on favourites, as Kilchmagh are in the first game. But as we've seen over the last couple of weekends in the senior championship, this time of the year is a great leveller. The conditions out here, it's a very murky sort of day. The pitch, it'll be that little bit damper, so it mightn't be as conducive to the flowing type football that Bohol and my Davids play. So that will give Island Eady every chance, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them being very close to finish anyway, and you wouldn't know what would happen after that.
Jimmy, I'm going to have to pull you on the pronunciation of Island Eady. Take out that middle D. We'll have no cred locally. Take out that middle D. That's the problem with East Mayo fellas. You don't look far enough west at all, I think is the problem.
Ah well, yeah. I remember when Island Eady were a senior team way back in the day. We had a couple of great battles with them. I remember.
Might be Island Eady as well, but not.
Yeah,
there's no DD in it.
Okay, I'll bow to your superior diction, Liam. Yeah, I remember playing Island Eady here in a senior championship game a long time ago in Ballina. Yeah, we prevailed that day, of course.
They had good players in their time, and they've good players now as well. As I said, they're a team that have impressed me.
There could have been a certain Taoiseach playing that day.
Yeah, he did. And McCormick's and Fitzgerald's and all those, Porrick Rice, all those players. I want to go through some of the big players from today. When I looked through the Kilchmagh team, Kieran Charlton was a great minor. Very, very lively footballer. They have some good forwards there. Ronan Malee, of course. Conor Heenan in the back line. They have good players, Kilchmagh. As we've been saying earlier on in our Facebook Live, they were very disappointed with their performance last year in the county final. They really felt they didn't perform.
Yeah, well, it was like as if they didn't turn up. But you often find that in finals.
The team ever actually not turn up?
Literally. I'm sure some have been tempted not to, but no, I don't think it's
I wish they didn't.
Anyway, whether or not they didn't win last year, but they were up against a very good team in Westport, and they're a young team. Like I said, they've had some very good colleges players. They've been, like I said, competitive at under 21A level. They wouldn't be the biggest of teams, except around the middle of the field, strange enough. They have a very big midfield. Paul Kelly and Sean Welch, who are been thereabouts on Mayo under 20 panels the last couple of years. So it'll be interesting to see the battle there at midfield. You have big midfielders as well for Louisburgh. Of course, Porrick Prendergast, who is an enormous man and a very good footballer. So I know it is a bit of a cliche, but there will be a lot riding on what happens at midfield. And if one team is starting to get a foothold there, how will the other team contend with that? Will they continue to go long, or will they go short, trying to go around midfield?
Okay.
So it'll be an interesting battle, yeah.
Yeah, a lot to ponder over. Kilchmagh out in the field now. We have another interesting battle here. Colm Clark and Brendan Mooney are going to join me now. Jimmy, we'll give you a little break, so we'll bring in Brendan and Colm. Colm, a veteran of streaming, of course, and as Louisburgh's man throughout last year, and Brendan Mooney from Kilchmagh, where Kilchmagh, of course, making strides in terms of doing live stuff in the club site and promoting the club locally as well. I'll go to you first, Brendan. You're the warm favourites.
Yeah, we were the warm favourites, but it's a big battle. Louisburgh are seasoned veterans of championship football, and yeah, it'll be a tough battle today. And as Jimmy was saying earlier on, the conditions are a great leveller this time of year, so we'll take nothing for granted.
Colin, what do you think? Big day for you?
Big day. Now we're intermediate semi-final. Probably not too many seen it coming, but they're here. Kilchmagh, deservedly so, warm favourites after losing last year by such a narrow margin. And look, I'd say it's going to be ding dong again today, hopefully.
And we need to know about, lads, any late call-offs, any cry-offs, anything like that?
We'd one fitness worry. Was David Lydon earlier on, but he's gone through his fitness test and he's come out of the better side of that, so he's starting.
In fact, we can see both teams out on the field now as well. As we said, they're both going through the warm-ups now. David Lydon is okay. What do you got for us, Colm?
At the moment, I was talking to one of the guys this morning, and as far as I know, they're going to line out as named more or less. I didn't hear any late changes now, as I say. I'm only after landing. So Porrick O'Malley, of course, will be one big omission from the club coming back from injury, from the team coming back from injury. But look, whether he starts or not, he's some man to have on the bench to bring on.
Yes, a fine player. Porrick P, a huge man for you in the middle of the field.
He is, yeah. Like he scored 5 points last week. He should be causing lots of trouble for Kilchmagh today. He scored 3 monster scores from play last Sunday and a couple of frees. And between himself now and Kevin Gibbons, there'd be danger men there today.
For you, Brenda, who are you looking to?
We're looking to our big men as well. I think Paul Kelly, Sean Walsh need a big game today. And inside, David Lydon, Liam Lydon and Ronan Millie we're looking for. Obviously, Ronan is by far our top scorer, I think 120 so far this year in the championship. And David Lydon, our leading scorer from play at 1-9. So it'll be the usual suspects. We've a lot of experience on the team. 4 of the team played in 2010 in the All-Ireland final. Damien Gallagher, Conor Heenahan, Kieran Charlton, Liam Lydon, and one more, 5 actually, Ronan Millie. So we've the experienced lad we need to stand up and show today.
Yeah, and we made the point already, and I've spoken to you about this before as well. Your final disappointment last year was final performance last year was a major disappointment for you.
It was a huge disappointment. We didn't show up last year in Castlebar against Westport. Now they were a strong team, but we didn't do ourselves justice. And this year the lads are out to show that we're better than that. You know, we're better than the 4 points we scored in a county final last year, and we want to go all the way this year and take it one step further.
Okay, well, we're going to bring in match commentator Edwin McGrail of the Mayo News in a moment. He's on his way in now, Edwin McGrail of the Mayo News, and he's going to join Colm and Brendan for the first half. We'll have Jimmy Lyons, of course, for match analysis at the start, at half time as well. So, Edwin, over to you.
Thanks very much, Liam, and everyone, you're very welcome once more to James Stephens Park here in Ballina. As we see, both teams are lining out, are going through their warm-up drills. Louisburgh at the Crossmalina end, just working a 3-on-2 drill, and Kilshemal's drill looks slightly bit more intricate. Louisburgh centre half forward as well. Kevin Gibbons, their top scorer this year, indeed, in the championship. Their top scorer for a number of years, one would suggest, is going through his freeze. But I'm going to bring Brendan in here. Late fitness test for David Lydon, but he came through it, and he's an important player. Looking at the stats this year, he's the top scorer from play in the intermediate championship for Kilshemal, and it's vital that he's in a position to start and has passed that fitness test.
Yeah, I believe he's passed the fitness test and is starting. I'm just looking for him out there now. I haven't picked him out yet. Yeah, 1-9 I think from play, our leading scorer from play, and he's also it's his physical presence. We've a small forward line as usual with Kilshemal, but David adds that physical presence. He's over 6 foot tall. He's done a lot of work in the gym this year, and you know, it's important that he starts for us just to give us a bit of strength up front.
How do you breed so many small forwards in Kilshemal? You were one yourself.
So you're probably asking the wrong man. That it must be something in the water up there.
Very good. And Louisburgh, Colm, first year up from junior, and sometimes hard to know what the expectations can be, and particularly with a long winter going into the spring. But to get to an intermediate final has no matter what happens today, it'll rank as a very good achievement. First year up at this grade.
Oh, of course, but like naturally, the danger year is the first year back up in the higher level, and the big fear is coming straight back down again. So, like in a lot of senses, they're in bonus territory now, because like an intermediate semi-final, first year back up out of junior after such a long stint in junior is a phenomenal achievement. But they're not just here to take part today. Like they're I was talking to a few of them there and over the last couple of days, and there's extreme confidence around the club, and they're here to do business today.
And great form in recent weeks, because I know earlier on in the year, particularly in the league, a lot of, I suppose, disappointing results, and still not out of the relegation battle in Division 1C, whereas, you know, Kilshemal are promoted from Division 1B, but it seems when it comes to championship, Louisburgh have been able to find different form entirely.
As we both know, we're at a game in Louisburgh there against Achill in particular earlier on in the year, and really struggled throughout the summer in the league. But I think Pádraig Prendergast, now he was away for the summer, and it was plain to see the loss he was. He really steadied up the whole ship when he came back from his J1, and you can see they're doing well in the league again now. Still in a little bit of danger, but I think they should survive 1C anyway this year. As you say, they really step it up then for the real championship team, and they're just clicking nicely now at this time of the year again, same as last year.
And a question for both of you lads, from a point of view of neutral people that'll be watching this game and will be looking at it from I suppose, looking to see a good game, but also looking to see if there's any prospects from a Mayo point of view. Are there any particular players from either club that you think that are worth keeping an eye on or worth having a look at, be it at under 21 level or possibly senior level for FBD games, etc., going into 2018?
Yeah, from a Culture Ma point of view, it's been disappointing over the last number of years that we haven't had players on Mayo panels, other than minor and under 21. But if Stephen Rochford is watching, there are two lads. One is starting, Killian Finn, I think, at number 5. He scored 6 points from number 5 position this year, and he's a real athlete, just like his father John in the wing back position. He's a real tenacious kind of player. And the other player I think that could make a presence at Mayo level is on the bench, unfortunately, and that's Owen Lavin, and he's on the bench because of a serious injury. He had a cruciate ligament injury this year, and I think he's coming back to full fitness again. He's done a lot of work in the gym this year. He came on the last day and scored a crucial point against Ardnaree. So Owen Lavin and Killian Finn for me are two guys that really stand out.
And just going through the Kilchima team, we were talking about this off air. 8 guys that have county minor or county under 21 experience, and 4 of them on the bench, which shows how competitive positions are for getting into the starting team. Like Pat McNicholas, I'd say, has a very difficult job to pick his strongest 15 when you see guys on the bench, and admittedly injury might be factors for Owen Lavin and Donovan Cosgrove, but guys on the bench then like TJ Byrne and Liam Kelly, it shows the strength and depth that you have.
Yeah, that's one side of it this year that we've really improved on. We've a real strong bench. We're bringing on guys, and they're not only replacing the people that they're coming on for, but they're improving our team and our game. We've really a strong bench. You have Jack Carroll there, who's been playing cornerback all year, very good. Paddy McDonald, Liam Kelly, Donovan Cosgrove, Owen Lavin, TJ Byrne and Sean Moran. An awful lot of those guys have played in the red and green of Mayo and can bring on great experience for the Culture team.
And Colm, you mentioned Pádraig Prendergast. Anyone else in particular that we should be keeping an eye out from I suppose a county perspective?
Yeah, well, I see there's a change. I see there made Pádraig O'Malley, number 31 on our programme, is replacing number 12 Dylan Pinder. Pádraig was playing on the Mayo Juniors this year. He's a very strong player that came back from a serious cruciate ligament injury as well, and he's really coming back into the fray. He's doing very well. Pádraig Prendergast, of course. Ben Cox will be a young fella now. He's marking his way as a good cornerback this year. Very, very steady. He'd be another lad worth a look. Big, strong fella. Just to really maybe shore things up, and he'd be well worth a look during the FBD anyway, definitely.
We'll just take the chance now actually to go through both teams. We'll start with the Louisburgh team, and as you mentioned, one change to the programme there, Pádraig O'Malley coming in for Dylan Pinder. So the team from Louisburgh starting out in goal: number 1 Andrew Cosgrove, number 2 Joe Dawson, 3 Eamon O'Malley and 4 Ben Cox. 5 is Paul Prendergast, 6 is Ray Prendergast and 7 is Alan Moran. At midfield 8 Tom Dawson and 9 Pádraig Prendergast. Forward line James Gibbons, Kevin Gibbons and that change Pádraig O'Malley. And the full forward line Paul McDonald, Osty O'Malley and Michael Gibbons. And just to go through the Kilchima team, Kilchima lining out as selected. Damien Gallagher is in goal, the veteran of the squad, or the veteran of the team rather. Full back line Matty Cummins, Kevin Mulderrick and Jason Forkin. Half back line Killian Finn, Sean Forkin and Conor Heenahan. Midfield is Paul Kelly and Sean Walsh. Half forward line Brian Gallagher, Kieran Charlton and Stephen McDonald. And the full forward line David Lydon, who passed that late fitness test, his brother Liam Lydon, and top of the left team captain for Kilchima this season is Ronan Malee. So the teams are lining out now. It's Kilchima who are going to be attacking the town goal here. Louisburgh goalkeeper Andrew Cosgrove is at the town goal there, if you're as you can see here in Ballina, and we're just waiting for Kilchima goalkeeper Damien Gallagher to make his way to the other goal, and referee Charlie Collins is getting ready to line out. Charlie sporting that knee bandage that has got plenty of use over the years. He's still going strong as a club referee. And we'll just keep an eye on positional changes as well. We'll get Brendan and Colm to keep an eye on them for both teams to see how guys are lining out. But Charlie Collins is throwing the ball in and the game is on, and it's loose around midfield, and Kieran Charlton picked it up. Quick 1-2 and Kieran Charlton back on the ball again. Back to Brian Gallagher. Brian Gallagher left footed, kicks it inside. There's a bit of space in there and there's a goal on for Liam Lydon. He goes around. Oh, is that a foot block? No. Goalkeeper Andrew Cosgrave was out, but he was sidestepped by Lydon. But I think it was the full back. Was it Eamon O'Malley? It was actually Joe Dawson who blocked the shot. It appeared to be a foot block from our vantage point here, but referee Charlie Collins went with the decision of the umpire, which was he flagged the 45. He couldn't really flag for the foot block, and a let off there for Louisburgh. Colm.
Yeah, it was. They were really opened up there. It was a very quick, venomous attack. So something that seriously want to watch out for now. in the very near future, I'd say.
A very well struck 45 there by David Lydon, the man who was touch and go to start, but absolutely nothing wrong with his kicking action there. That was a superb left-footed 45 over the bar, and it's a good start for Louisburgh to get the first score. Good strike from David Lydon, but Brendan, could have been a bit more.
Yeah, it could have been a bit more. I thought it was, from this vantage point, you said it was a foot block, but it was a great ball in by Kieran Charlton to pick Liam out.
Short kick out taken. Alan Moran received that short kick out from Andrew Cosgrove, and Louisburgh look to build. It'll be interesting to see what the setup is like. It looks like there's a bit of space inside the Louisburgh 45 indeed for the short kick out in that instance, but as we saw with Kilshamaw's first attack, it was also, there was space there for a long ball in that Brian Gallagher played, and that could be an interesting tactic for Kilshaw if they're looking to employ it. Pádraig O'Malley now lets it go inside, right footed, trying to find Dossie O'Malley inside, but that ball is shepherded wide, and Damien Gallagher took the free and to Brian Gallagher, but he was adjudged by Charlie Collins to have picked it off the ground. It was a free in, but Charlie Collins has come in and taken the ball. I think it was Tom Dawson who pushed Brian Gallagher after that free, and Charlie Collins has decided to hop the ball, so what should have been a kickable free for Louisburgh ended up with Kilshaw winning possession, and the ball won superbly from the hop by Sean Walsh, and Kilshaw now are looking to come out with the ball. And Stephen McDonald now with the ball, but it's out over the line. A Louisburgh man that touched it last, and Louisburgh come away with it. There was a great chance there for Louisburgh to settle and get an equaliser, but a bit of indiscipline forced the ball to be hopped, and they're down the line now with Liam Lydon looking to take on Joe Dawson. Joe Dawson wearing number 2, picking up the Kilshaw full forward. That seems to be a tactical switch there from the get-go. Conor Heenan now with the ball in the right corner forward position. He lets it back to Killian Finn. Killian Finn has kicked 6 points this year in Championship for Kilshaw. Make that 7. Killian, son of former Mayo wing-back John Finn, and showed his pedigree there. That's his 7th point from play in this year's Championship from wing-back. He's a guy who Louisburgh will have to be very aware of. It's Pádraig O'Malley, the late change to Louisburgh, that's picking him up, and a lovely left-footed kick from Killian Finn, and something he's been doing all year, Brendan.
As you said, he scored, I think it's his 6 or 7 point this year in Championship football. He's a fine footballer going forward, he really is, and he's a great threat for us. It's one of our assets to have Killian driving forward like that.
Andrew Cosgrove looking for short options, but there's not a whole pile of them, and he's going to have to go long, so he kicks to his right hand side, but it's caught superbly in the air by Sean Walsh. It was a mark, but he opted to play it on, and well he might, because Kilshaw are on the way forward here, and Kieran Charlton is pulled back just inside the 45. He looked to see if there was a quick free on, but decided against it, is leaving it down, and Ronan Malee, Kilshamaw's top scorer this season, and their captain, is coming out to take this 45, but you saw there Louisburgh when they were looking to go long that Kilshamaw's Sean Walsh was very strong in the air, but I'm sure they'll be looking more so now to use Pádraig Prendergast on those kickouts, Colm.
They will, yeah.
Just that free was taken by Ronan Malee. We're not sure if it was brought forward. He just certainly kicked it from about 10 metres further forward than it was, but it mattered little because he kicked it wide on the near side. Charlie Collins having a quick word with Andrew Cosgrove, and Andrew Cosgrove now is seeing what options he has, and Louisburgh are trying to run to Cosgrove's right wing here, and it's down on top of Pádraig O'Malley and Killian Finn, but Killian Finn, he concedes a few inches to Pádraig O'Malley, but that didn't stop him there. He caught it superbly. It was a mark, and he was fouled as well. He lets the ball inside to Liam Lydon to Kieran Charlton. Kieran Charlton squares it. It's 1-on-1 inside. There could be a goal on here. There was a potential goal on there for David Lydon, but by the time he got the ball secured, he was blocked, and his shot was blocked, but it's still Kilshaw with the ball, and a shot from out the field is off the post, comes down to Kieran Charlton. He had the goal at his mercy, but coming under pressure from Louisburgh defenders, Charlton left-footed drilled it over the bar, and that's a let-off for Louisburgh. It could have been another goal there, Colm.
Yeah, there's twice now they've been opened up very easily. They're lord in midfield at the moment, so the short kick-out seems to be the way to go for now.
And indeed it was Alan Moran again there who received the short kick-out. Alan Moran, the number 7, the veteran for Louisburgh, 36 years of age surely at this stage, and but as Louisburgh tried to work the ball out the field, they were turned over, and Kilshaw have possession. Again, it's 2-on-2 inside. Adjudged to have been touched on the ground by David Lydon there, and a let off for Louisburgh, but certainly the two man inside line there that Kiltimagh are trying to isolate are capable of doing serious damage, Brendan.
Yeah, the two Lions, Liam and David, are doing great damage in there. Once the ball is let in early to them, they'll do the damage, and it seems to be the tactic today to let that ball in quick, which I'm delighted to see.
Louisburgh now a bit more methodical in their approach. They're looking to see what's on. Ball played in by Pádraig O'Malley to Osty O'Malley, and Osty O'Malley adjudged to have been fouled by Kevin Mulderrick, the Kiltimagh full back, and it's a free in that Louisburgh's Kevin Gibbons is looking to line up 25 metres out. Kiltimagh line are arguing about where is the free from. It'll be interesting to see by the time it's kicked where is it from, but Charlie Collins is standing very close to it, and linesman Declan O'Boyle has had his say on it as well. It needed a bit of curl, but it got a bit of curl. It started off outside the post, but curled around inside the post from Kevin Gibbons. As soon as he kicked, he's getting himself and his direct opponent Sean Forkin a bit of getting to know each other, and Damien Gallagher with his kick out, it plays it to his left wing to space, but there was no Kiltimagh body there, and Pádraig Prendergast happy to let that one go over the line, and he takes the 45, kicks it left footed down the line to Paul McDonald now. McDonald looking to take it on. McDonald looking to get away from his man, who is Jason Forkin, and McDonald gets the shot off eventually. The roar from the crowd would tell you it was a good one, and it was a great effort there by Paul McDonald. Super turn inside Jason Forkin and pointed well from a tricky enough angle, and all of a sudden it's 3 points to 2, and Louisburgh will be, after a slow enough start, they'll be very happy with that scoreline. Damien Gallagher now looking to see what his kick out options are. Will he look to go long? Kieran Charlton is running to space, but Gallagher, he goes long on top of Paul Kelly, and the ball goes loose. It's over the line, and Declan O'Boyle, the linesman, points to gives a little ball, but Colm, after a shaky start, Louisburgh are starting to settle.
Yeah, there were two badly needed points just to settle them down. Could be a little bit of nerves, probably, settling in, and
we see off the ball here Kevin Gibbons and I think it's Sean Forkin are at each other on the ground, but play is going on, and it's a point from Louisburgh, but Paul McDonald with the point, but a Louisburgh water carrier is in there. A couple of Kiltimagh bodies. Killian Finn ran to get involved there, and it was Sean Forkin who was initially involved. Charlie Collins now, it's Sean Forkin. He's talking to Kevin Gibbons. Is he talking to Kevin Gibbons as well? He's bringing in the two of them. It's probably going to be a typical one, a yellow card either way, but always hard to know who the instigator is in that event, and sometimes the guy who receives, who isn't the instigator, feels he has to stand his ground, but it's 2 yellows. That is the decision of Charlie Collins, a yellow to Sean Forkin and a yellow to Kevin Gibbons, but he's also calling Killian Finn over here, and as a third man in now, he could be in a bit of bother here. This would be the fear from a Kiltimagh point of view. Third man in is sometimes adjudicated a little bit differently, and Killian Finn being spoken to here, and it's a yellow for Killian Finn as well. Always a risk there when you see a third man in.
Yeah, I was worried there was going to be a black card there, and Killian has been instrumental so far for Kiltimagh. I'm happy to take the yellow there.
And as that skirmish was developing, it was Paul McDonald that put the ball over the bar, 3 points apiece, and as you see there, Damien Gallagher's kick out again going over the line. So it was Louisburgh that were struggling with their kick outs earlier on, but now it's Kiltimagh that are struggling to keep possession, and Alan Moran with his left foot kicks the line ball down towards Pádraig O'Malley. Killian Finn gets a hand on it, but Pádraig O'Malley picks up the loose ball. He's under pressure from both Paul Kelly and Killian Finn, and eventually the decision is a line ball to Kiltimagh. Colm, were you worried after that start? It's looking much better now from a Louisburgh point of view. They've clearly managed to settle, but it did look worrying early on.
It did, yeah. As I said, there was probably a lot of nerves at the start, but they really seem to have settled into the groove now, and they're working a lot better.
Damien Gallagher now is he going to carry it past halfway? Almost. He was 65 metres out from his own line. He waited for the option and he kicked it down the line towards Liam Lydon, but the ball goes loose from Liam Lydon and Kiltimagh turn it over, and Damien Gallagher is using all of his pace to get back into the goal, but he can relax now because the delivery from Paul Prendergast was off target, and it's a turnover, and it's Jason Forkin that has the ball. He wasn't allowed to take it straight away, and Charlie Collins brought it forward. And the ball inside to corner forward David Lydon, who has been picked up by Ben Cox, and Ben Cox was adjudicated to have been fouled, and it's a free out. Free taken, and Kevin Gibbons with the ball now. And as we look up, there's plenty of niggle off the ball all over. It has the look of a game that could become quite hard to control, and Kiltimagh awarded a free in there now. Technical foul by Louisburgh as they brought it out. Brian Gallagher winds up that left foot and lets it inside again. It's 1-on-1 inside. David Lydon with a left-footed shot, but wide on the far side. But again, we see the tactic there from Kiltimagh, Brendan, that trying to move the ball inside to their full forward line as quickly as possible and exploit the space.
Yeah, again, the quick ball into David Lydon, and he's ahead of his man every time in winning, so it's unfortunate that he just put it wide. But the quick ball into David and to Liam is really working well. We just need to get back on top in front of the middle here. There's Conor Heenan going up here in the middle of the field, and the judge who have fouled with a hand on his back. We need to get back in front here.
And it's Alan Moran that takes that free, winds up the left foot and kicks it down the line towards Paul McDonald now. Paul McDonald, or Michael Gibbons rather, kicks it inside to Ossie O'Malley. Ossie under pressure from Kevin Mulderrick. Ball went loose, and then he was fouled at the second time by Conor Heenan, and it's a free in now just on the right wing for Louisburgh. And Pádraig Prendergast says, I'll take that with the left foot, and he's looking to put it on the deck. And we're seeing here now on the line Declan O'Boyle, Louisburgh manager John Kelly, giving out to a Kiltimagh mentor. I can't just see who he is here, but he's been told to go down to his own technical area, and I think it was John Malee is the man there. So he's moving past the Louisburgh bench back to the Kiltimagh technical area. But it's that type of game where there's a lot of marginal tough decisions, and there's a lot of skirmishes off the ball, and it's just like a game that could boil over. Pádraig Prendergast now with the free. Oh, the umpire was about to signal for a point. We all thought it was a point, but it clipped the post and came out, and Sean Forkin clears it down the line. But it's a 50-50 ball at best, and Kiltimagh are turned over. Kieran Charlton wasn't able to keep that ball. It wasn't an easy ball for him to keep, but the hand pass from Paul Prendergast is lost, and Kiltimagh come away with it. It's Brian Gallagher again. As soon as he gets the ball, he's looking to line up that left boot, and this time it's finding Ronan Malee, who's faced it full back Eamon O'Malley. Malee will look to take him on surely. Malee offloads to Jason Forkin. Jason Forkin back to Brian Gallagher, who has that left foot. He's been using it to pass the ball so far. That's a ball that dropped short. It was a shot for a point, no doubt, but it fell at the back post to David Lydon, and David Lydon got the fist on it and fisted to the net past Andrew Cosgrave. And a huge score for Kiltimagh after a shaky few minutes, and maybe not a goal that they were actually trying to go for that time, but you'll take it.
Absolutely, that was definitely a shot for a point, but we'll take it. That's our third opportunity at a goal, and we're delighted to take that one. Again, that ball into David Lydon is doing great damage. He's been really our go-to man so far today.
And like we said, Brian Gallagher has been on a lot of ball, has been passing for the most part, but that time I think he might argue it was a pass, but we think he was definitely shooting, but it fell short perfectly for David Lydon. And it's Kiltimagh who lead now 1 goal and 3 points to 3 points. And Ossie O'Malley adjudged to have fouled Kevin Mulderrick as he was coming out for that ball, and it's a free out for Kiltimagh. And again, it's Brian Gallagher that's on the ball. Brian Aguido looking to get on the ball as often as possible, and he kicks back to Damien Gallagher now. Damien Gallagher hand passes over the head of Michael Gibbons, and Matty Cummins is out with the ball and releases it to Paul Kelly. Paul Kelly back to Matty Cummins. At the second time he retrieves it. Cummins to Kieran Charlton. Kieran Charlton to Killian Finn. Killian Finn winds up that left boot again. We spoke about his prowess from going back a couple of times already, and there he shows it again. His second point, a lovely left-footed strike, and it's 1-4 to 3 points for Kiltimagh. And all of a sudden, Colm, after Louisburgh getting back to 3-3, it's a very different complexion on the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, they went 3 down, and then it was level, and now they're 3-4 down again. So look, it's going to be a swings and roundabout kind of a game. The wind is cross field, so it doesn't seem to be benefiting really anybody. I'd say that's the ball's going out the far side. Another good mark there for Kiltimagh.
Yeah, so Conor Heenan, the left half back with the mark, and Kiltimagh move the ball, and again they're isolating the space inside, and it's David Lydon who offloads back to Conor Heenan, who won the mark initially. He started the move and he finished the move with a cracking right footed point from the right wing. A super score there from Conor Heenan. 1-5 to 3 points now.
3 points from our backs today so far. 3 points from Kiltimagh's back so far.
Absolutely, and when you have inside forwards who can do damage and you have threats coming from deep as well, it's very hard to know what to do from a defensive point of view for Louisburgh, Colm.
Yeah, it's true. Just seem to have to work just as hard for their scores, and it's the middle of the field is dominating at the moment. It's the breaks and the marks is doing the damage for Louisburgh point of view.
James Gibbons have picked up the mark there though off a ball which was Louisburgh lose the ball in the tackle and Kiltimagh have the ball, and not a lot of shape to the ball inside, but it's just hoping to isolate the men inside again, and Liam Lydon gets turned on and he's in on goal. Is he fouled? Referee says play on, and well he might. David Lydon on the end of it received the ball from Liam Lydon, and another goal for David Lydon.
Absolutely, thank God he's passed that fitness test. 2-1 from play already for Liam. A fantastic return.
16 minutes gone here, and a couple of key goals there now, and Louisburgh again failed to retain possession on their own kick out. 2-5 to 3 points. An uphill struggle you would have to think for the West Mayo men here now as Kieran Charlton lines up a shot. It's dropping short. Andrew Cosgrave was under pressure from David Lydon, but at the second attempt the Louisburgh goalkeeper secures the ball, kicked it down the wing. McDonald. Louisburgh just need to settle, you would think, at this stage, and just ride out this storm, this spell of Kiltimagh dominance that has seen them score 2-2 without reply to open up an 8-point lead here. The ball is kicked inside by James Gibbons, but under pressure it didn't carry all the way, and Kiltimagh come out with it. It's Brian Gallagher again. I'd say if there was possession stats for each player, Brian Gallagher would be among the top players in the game so far. He's been on a side of ball, and it's David Lydon who will be up there as well. Lydon turns his man and kicks over with his left foot. That's 2 goals and 2 points for David Lydon. 2 goals and 6 points to Kiltimagh, 3 points to Louisburgh. What do Louisburgh need to do now for the next few minutes, Colm?
As you were saying, they just have to ride out this version of Storm Ophelia, and they'll just Kiltimagh are getting back and tracking back in such numbers. Louisburgh are just finding it hard to cope inside their own 45 at the moment.
Long kick out is on top of Pádraig O'Malley, and O'Malley takes the mark clean, and he opts to play on and kicks it down the line towards Kevin Gibbons, who has moved inside. Gibbons tried to offload. If that ball was successful towards Paul McDonald, he was in on goal, but just not enough purchase on the hand pass, and Kiltimagh managed to turn it over, and it's Damien Gallagher now, the goalkeeper, who hand passes to his brother Brian. Brian Gallagher getting to halfway again. He's looking to wind up that left foot once more, and he kicks it down the line towards Liam Lydon, who has Joe Dawson for company. Lydon now, who was the provider for that goal. Lydon, a little dummy of a hop to turn to find space and get away from Dawson, and off to Ronan Malee. Malee hasn't seen a lot of ball, but he's dangerous here. He's looking at a goal and he finds the net. He seemed to slip, and the slip seemed to buy him a bit of space from the Louisburgh defenders, and Malee finished superbly low to the back of the net. I'm going to bring in Jimmy Lyons here. Jimmy, Kiltimagh look like they're really cruising at the minute after those 3 goals.
They are, after 3 points all there after about 10 minutes, but suddenly, 10 or 11 points between them now. Yeah, Kiltimagh are dropping back their 2 wing backs. They're crowding out Louisburgh's attacks and winning turnover ball and transferring it very quickly into the full forward line. Ronan Malee, Liam Lydon and David Lydon are just cleaning up inside. They've won every ball that's gone into them, and they're able to take on their men and either create goal chances for others, or take them themselves, or take their points. Brian Gallagher in particular has sent in about 3 or 4 great balls long into the forward line, and like I said, they seem to be winning everyone that's gone in there. So it's very hard to see how Louisburgh are going to turn this around. They just have to get possession, keep calm, and try to work a couple of scores and settle things before half time.
We're just going to have a look at that last goal here now, the action replay from it. Saw Ronan Malee there managed to buy this bit of space. He fell as he shot, but he got enough purchase on it and finished low to the corner of the net. There's an injury concern here, and it's Marcus O'Malley who's coming on.
He's called it off for a second,
or was about to come on, but and it's Ben Cox, number 4, who's coming off, but and Marcus O'Malley on. But Colm, from a tactical point of view, what can Louisburgh do to try and protect that space in front of their own goal?
It's they're going to have to try and maybe drop sacrifice a player and drop him back, because the sheer pace of the wing backs running forward and the full forward line is just at the moment it's just far too much for the Louisburgh backs, and their interpassing at pure speed is just tearing them apart at the moment. So
21 minutes gone here in Ballina. It's 3-6 to Kiltimagh, 3 points to Louisburgh. It was another kick out from Louisburgh that they failed to secure. It went over the line, and Kiltimagh on the attack, and referee Charlie Collins blows for a free in, and a chance now for Louisburgh and Kiltimagh to catch their breaths. I think more so needed for Louisburgh at this stage, though, with the 12-point gap that they're facing. And Brendan, from a Kiltimagh point of view here, I suppose the key thing will be to keep Louisburgh at arm's length to half time, and then to decide what to do for the second half with such an imposing lead in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to at this stage, I think we have 9 minutes left to go in this half, and if we can keep our noses ahead, keep Louisburgh to as minimum score as possible, it'll suit us. We have a chance here with Ronan Malee on the left hand side. Ronan takes it, and he is short, nearly dropped to David Lydon, but yeah, we're going well so far for Kiltimagh.
And there was another flick of a goal chance, and we saw it inside the first minute indeed, where Kiltimagh had a goal chance, but it was saved now for a 45, and it's Killian Finn who lines up that left foot again. This time though, it's just off target, but a judge to have been a touch on it, and it's a 45 for Kiltimagh. And we see Brendan there from Kiltimagh. When you have the likes of Killian Finn, Conor Heenan coming forward, you have a strong midfield dominance. It's proven very difficult for Louisburgh to know what threats to cut off, because they're coming from all over the field. We'll just keep with the play here. It's taken short by David Lydon to Killian Finn. Lydon takes it back from Finn. He'd be disappointed with that, but after his first half so far, I think he's allowed one of those.
Absolutely, 2-2 after 22 minutes. We'll let him away with that one. Yeah, but I think you're right. Kiltimagh at the minute are dominant, both midfield, wing backs, wing forwards, and full forward line. We are on top of Louisburgh, but look, there's a long way to go yet, and we need to keep our focus and keep going.
Louisburgh goalkeeper Andrew Cosgrove now, he's been told to play on and hurry up with his kick out by Charlie Collins. It is an issue for Louisburgh on their own kick out, but the ball goes loose. It looked like there was a foul. It could have went either way, but Charlie Collins said no foul and play on. And Joe Dawson kicks it inside to Pádraig Prendergast, who's moved inside, and he's turned his man. He's thinking goal, but the ball went from his grasp and went loose, and Kiltimagh cornerback Matty Cummins comes away with it. But interesting move there. Pádraig Prendergast gone inside. Louisburgh are obviously looking to try and get a ball winner in there and have an option for a direct ball inside Column.
Yeah, they're just going to try and go probably route one for a while and see how it works. Eamon O'Malley just done well there at the centre of the field, so maybe they're just going to try and pump the square and see how it works out for now.
Eamon O'Malley played that ball to Alan Moran, who kicked it inside to Paul McDonald. Paul McDonald back to Ostie O'Malley. Ostie trying to get the space to shoot. Instead he passes to Michael Gibbons. Michael Gibbons gets the shot, and that's a big score, an important score for Louisburgh to settle themselves after Kiltimagh scored 3 goals and 3 points without reply, and it's Louisburgh first score since then, and it's now 3-6 to 4 points. But Kiltimagh are able to get the short kick out away, and you get the feeling that there'll be more and more of those short kick outs on now as the game becomes a bit more open. And Kiltimagh working it out through the hands here now, Jason Forkin, and interestingly Ronan Malee is back there on his own 45, coming very deep, but they're still playing, looking to play the two inside. The two Lydon brothers are the closest men to the Louisburgh goal. Indeed, there's only David Lydon that's inside the Kiltimagh or the Louisburgh 45 now, as Paul Kelly carries the ball. Maybe took a play too much out of it, but passed to Killian Finn. Killian Finn play a nice ball inside to David Lydon, but it was well intercepted by Marcus O'Malley. He won that first battle that they've had in there in the full back line. It probably wasn't, from David Lydon's point of view, the ball probably wasn't favouring him, but O'Malley read the danger very well and swept it away, and Louisburgh now are on the attack and they're looking to build, but they'll see the amount of Kiltimagh bodies that are back. Eamon O'Malley now looking to drive on. O'Malley kicks inside to Paul McDonald. Paul McDonald under pressure from Jason Forkin gets the shot off, but never enough purchase on it, and it falls short into the grateful arms of Damien Gallagher. And that's going to be an issue, Colm, for Louisburgh, is that when they're attacking, Kiltimagh are very resourcefully getting a lot of bodies behind the ball. Yeah,
they're getting back. It's ferocious speed, and they're breaking with ferocious speed. Their handling so far in the game has been second to none, and they're just out in front of their men at every opportunity so far anyway.
Stephen McDonald received the ball well inside there, but Midfielder then, Sean Walsh, adjudicated by Charlie Collins to have picked the ball off the ground. It looked like there might have been a bit of a hop in it, but Charlie Collins has been consistent in his application of that rule today. So players have to know. Kevin Gibbons and Sean Forkin again having a bit of getting to know you here off the ball. Forkin looking to block the run at times there, but Gibbons now, or Austin O'Malley rather, on the ball. Austin O'Malley has 3 men for company though, but he offloads to Michael Gibbons. Michael Gibbons looks to see what he is on, but Louisburg look a bit static here. Pádraig O'Malley has no choice but to line out the shot from outside. It was close in fairness to him, but it's went wide. And interestingly here now, Declan O'Boyle, the linesman on this side, is calling Charlie Collins over. Is that relating to the incident we saw here with Sean Forkin and Kevin Gibbons? It's both men are on a yellow card, and if Declan O'Boyle judges that this could have been a bookable offence, and he's calling over number 6, which is indeed Sean Forkin. I think he could be gone, Brendan. You'd be worried about this, and an unnecessary yellow card and second yellow if that's what it turns out to be. And he's definitely reaching into his book here.
Substitution on the Louisburg team.
Second yellow for Sean Forkin. He's gone, and I'm not sure it was a yellow card, to be fair, but it's not an incident he needed to be getting involved in. Like, the linesman had clearly been drawn. It was developing for a few seconds. He had to be smarter.
You're right, Edwin. We're 3-6 to 4 points up. There was no need for it to get involved. I agree. I don't think it was a yellow card, but when you do a bit of off the ball shenanigans, it's always a chance.
And that could be a big moment in the game now, though. It's 3-6 to 4 points to Kiltimagh, but they're a man down now, and we're still in the first half. 3 minutes left in this half, and Louisburg have a free in. It's Kevin Gibbons with the ball, and a Louisburg man or a Kiltimagh man is not getting back from this. I think it's Jason Forkin, is it? And Jason Forkin, that ball could have been brought forward, but it's just on the outside of the D now. Kevin Gibbons with the free. And a chance for another score here for Louisburg to settle back somewhat into this game. Kevin Gibbons now lines up right footed and off the post and over the bar, and the 12-point gap has been reduced to a 10-point gap. It's still a huge gap to make up, Colin, but Louisburg would feel if they could possibly get a couple more scores before half time, get in and get reorganised, try and make the most of the extra man, this game mightn't be gone from them.
Exactly, yeah. If they were able to somehow muster a goal or maybe a couple of more points, just keep chipping away at the lead. We have the spare man now. If they use it wisely and try and get a grip to midfield, they'll who knows.
But Kiltimagh under a bit of pressure for a couple of minutes since that red card. But Sean Walsh superbly fielded that kick out, and Kiltimagh have possession now, and Walsh takes it back from Liam Lydon. Walsh offloads now to Ronan Malee. Ronan Malee jinks and weaves, but loses possession, but manages to keep it in play on the ground. But he kicked it last, and it's over the sideline. Right call there by Declan O'Boyle, and it's a line ball to Louisburg. And from a reorganisation point of view, what are Kiltimagh going to do to compensate for the loss of the wing back, for the loss of their centre back, Brendan?
Yeah, well, I hope what it doesn't do is exactly what happened there, is that we stop kicking that ball in, because we've one man less inside. Liam Lydon has pulled out. David Lydon now is the only man inside in the full forward line. So look, I think where the tactic has worked all day, I think we should stick with it. We've been on top, so we can afford to leave 2 men in there. I think get to half time now is what Kiltimagh need to do.
And a free in given now, and there's another skirmish on the ground, but it's a free in for Louisburg, and a chance now for them to eat into the gap once more. Steve Corrigan has just been introduced into the game for Paul Prendergast. He came on in the last couple of minutes, and one of the key players last year for Louisburg, attacking from wing back, and he can do damage, and he showed there his ability and was fouled. Maraden forward, as he likes to do, and it's Paul Prendergast who's lining this up left footed. He kicked one over from this range previously already, and he's kicked another one over. He has his range, he has his radar right, and it's 3-6 to 6 now, so 3 points in a row for Louisburg as we're coming up to half time. And Kilshima now, it'll be interesting with the extra man. Are Louisburgh able to hem them in, press up on the kick out and force the ball to go long? But indeed, if it does go long, Kilshima have been very good in the air as well. Damien Gallagher does go long. It's on top of Ronan Mallee though, which is not I'm sure it wasn't the intended target of that kick out, and Louisburgh come away with it. Raymond Prendergast that won that ball, and he offloaded to Alan Moore, and Alan Moore hit a bit late by Kieran Charlton, but the shot from Kevin Gibbons off the outside of his right boot, just a bit too much swerve on it, and it just goes wide on the far side. And there's an instant off the ball as well. We see a Louisburgh man gone down, and a lot of Louisburgh players remonstrating with Ronan Mallee. We're not sure what happened in that situation. The Alan Moore situation, it just looked like it was a slightly late tackle from Kieran Charlton. Could have been, but advantage was played, and the shot from Kevin Gibbons went just wide. And Declan O'Boyle, now the linesman, who's been very busy in this first half. There's been a lot of little skirmishes, and Declan O'Boyle goes on, speaks to Charlie Collins, and is Charlie Collins going to talk to anyone after that? It doesn't look like he is. And play looks to go on. Peter Geraghty, fourth official here, is telling Pa McNicholas to kill. A minute into injury time here now as Damien Gallagher again goes long. It's on top of Sean Walsh this time, but Walsh can only get one hand on it, but it's good enough to get the ball to Ronan Mallee, who won the break and offloaded well to Brian Gallagher. Brian Gallagher now to Killian Finn. It's one man full forward line now that Kilshima have, and Finn and Kieran Charlton work a good one too. Charlton looked like he was fouled. Play on, Kilshima still have the ball. Louisburgh playing a sweeper in front of David Lydon there, and Liam Lydon goes off at pace brilliantly and offloads to Kieran Charlton. Charlton looks to take it on, but is coming under huge pressure from James Gibbons, and Brian Gallagher gets the ball. A neat little low kick pass to Ronan Mallee. Mallee superbly manages to keep the ball and offload. Brian Gallagher looked like he might have been fouled there, but his pass was astray anyway, and there was no Kilshima man in the vicinity, and it's the last action of the half. Kilshima leading 3-6 to 6 points at half time. And it's interesting to see the Louisburgh players seem to be waiting back, and the Kilshima players are running in. I'm not sure if that's an attempt to avoid any tension, but you'd have to think advantage Kilshima at this stage, Brendan. But the extra man could have a bearing on it as the half goes on.
Yeah, advantage Kilshima on the scoreboard, but not on the numbers on the field to play. It was a big loss. Sean Forkin is a big loss to us. But yeah, we'll take three goals and 6 points to 6 points at half time. It's been a niggly first half. A lot of off the balls, a lot of pulling and dragging. It's even spilled over onto the sideline at times. But yeah, a real championship match going on here in Ballina today.
And Cullum, I see John Kelly and John Prendergast talking to their players, holding them back. They're going in now. What will be the key thing that they will need to focus on now coming into the second half?
The key thing is obviously take advantage of the extra man and try and avoid all this the niggly bits and pieces that's going on off the ball. Concentrate on a bit of football. Probably both teams are guilty of it off the ball, and look, it's a heavy hit and it's an intermediate semi-final. There's a lot at stake. Kilchmark know what's at stake after losing the final last year. Louisburgh know what's at stake because they want to get to a final, come straight up from junior last year. So it's going to be a hell of a second half. There is 9 points in it, but as you see, 10 minutes scored 3 goals for Kilchmark today. Who knows what the same thing could happen to Louisburgh in the second half with the extra man, you know.
I'm going to hand you back now to our presenter Liam Horan and our analyst Jimmy Lyons.
Thank you, Edwin, and to Colin and to Brendan as well. Jimmy, they got to how far up? They got to 12 up.
12 points up, yeah. It was a first half of 4 different periods, you could say. Kilchmark were very quick out of the blocks, got 3 quick points. It looked like Louisburgh were struggling to get to the pace of the game, but then they did, and they won their own kick-outs. They won 3 Kilchmark kick-outs, and they got 3 points. So it looked like we're in for a sort of close ding-dong sort of battle, point for point. But there was a crazy period of 5 or 6 minutes where Kilchmark got 3 goals. Louisburgh were very exposed at the back. You could say that it's a little bit naive of them. Kilchmark were dropping their 2 wing backs back, so they were creating space up front. That they were just leaving 2 men inside. Sometimes it could be any 2 of the 3 full forward line of David Lydon, Liam Lydon, and Ronan Mallee. And there's some very clever ball played in from way out the field, from midfield, and back beyond midfield. When Kilchmarnock won the ball, they were very quick to transfer into the forward line. Brian Gallagher in particular had a couple of great balls in, long balls in. So, and it was very easy for the Kilchmarnock inside line to win those balls. They were 1-on-1. You know, they were out in front there, and they were getting good ball in front of them, and they were able to expose Louisburg. Then they were on the back foot.
Okay, we're hoping to line up some replays in a moment. Stay where you are, Jimmy. We hope to get some replays. And so they were making hay. What went wrong?
For Kilchmarnock, yeah, but Kilchmarnock, unfortunately, they started to get a little bit niggly with Louisburg. They got drawn into kind of off the ball stuff, which is can only be detrimental to them. I mean,
far ahead.
Absolutely, there's no need for that. Sean Farkin got sent off here. He got a kind of a silly yellow card early on for Tustin, which is man. Again, no need for that. And off the ball, we saw it down here in front of us. Louisburg were attacking up the middle, and he just again encountered his man. Probably a bit harsh for a yellow, but there was no need for it. And it made a very easy decision for Charlie Collins to give him a second yellow and a red. So then Kilchmarnock were 12 points up at that point and seemingly coasting. Then they were a man down. Louisburg got their dander up, you could say. There's nothing like a few physical altercations like that to get the opposition going, especially when they're so far down. And then they reeled off 3 good points. And again, Kilchmarnock are still getting involved. Ronan Malee got involved there in the middle of the field, but nobody saw what happened. Louisburg man went down. We don't know what, but there's no need for Kilchmarnock to get involved like that. They're well ahead. Keep playing football. They're playing very intelligent football, very smart football. If they keep doing that, I don't think the extra man is going to make any much of a difference, because they're dropping in back anyway. They're crowding their back line, and they're playing with 2 up front or 1 up front at times. So it shouldn't make any difference to the way they play.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the Kilchmarnock's third goal. You might just take a look at it yourself there, Jimmy, too. And
this was Ronan.
Yeah, well finished, but there was an opening there, of course. So we're going to take another quick look at it again.
Yeah, well, Ronan got the ball out in the corner and worked his way in.
Just 1 second now, here we are.
Yeah. Got the...
Managed to kick it while falling. It was a good finish, considering he lost his footing while falling. Yes.
He made full use of the 4-step route, but Ronan is a very experienced player. He hung on to the ball, didn't panic. Louisburg were expecting, I think, to tap the ball over the bar. He slipped, he got up, and he finished very well.
Yeah, it was a tonic for Kilchmarnock at the time. But Louisburg, have they a hope, Jimmy?
Well, there's always... Yeah, there's always hope, no matter how far you're behind. Kilchmarnock have got 9 scores to Louisburg's 6, so they will argue that they are in this game performance-wise. As long as they keep calm, don't try to force the goal issue. Don't try to force looking for goals. Keep tapping their points over. They have the extra man. They should be able to play the ball around and create those simple point opportunities. So yeah, it's a long way back, and if Kilchmarnock are smart, they will crowd Louisburg out. They will keep bringing their men back. They rotate them in coming back at times as well. It's not always the half back line. I saw at one stage there Steve McDonald dropped forward, and Ronan Malee came back to cover for him. So they're well organised. There's no doubt about that, and it's very hard to see them letting it slip, but you never know.
Okay, Jimmy, Louisburg got some good scores as well. We're going to see one of them here. Some very fine scores, well out in the right wing. I think it was one of the Gibbonses got that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the left corner forward, Michael Gibbons. I thought first it might be an Austin O'Malley type boomer, but we'll just take a look at it again. A very fine point. It's taking a second to bring it up.
Yeah, I think it was Austin O'Malley worked it in, and a very good kick. Michael Gibbons, yeah, the points they've got very good scores, but they've had to work hard for them, so they have had to be very good scores. They've got no tap overs, so they have been from distance, and in heavy conditions, distance is anywhere from 25 metres around that area. But and they were very unlucky with a couple of shots as well. Kevin Gibbons had a lovely kick there at the end. It just tailed off the outside of his boot. So they have the forwards that are able to kick scores, and it seems to be the wind is kind of blowing across the pitch towards the stand-in, but that suits a right-footed player. He can bring the ball in on that wind to a certain extent. So that's why Kilchmarnock will find it a little bit easier to get their scores in the first half. So again, Louisburg, the 30 minutes, they get if they could get 3 or 4 points back in the first 12 or 15 minutes, it'll bring it down to a 5 or 6 point game. This is what you have to look at, just little by little, small margin. They're not going to win in the first 5 minutes. They're not going to get back in the first 10 minutes. They have to keep Kiltimagh scores to a minimum. Certainly don't allow any more goals, because that would, one more goal, I'd say, would certainly kill the game, especially when they've been breached so often. It's funny, in the last 5 minutes there, like I said, Louisburgh did get some wind in their sails. In fact, they defended better as well. They were getting back to help each other. They turned over Kiltimagh in the corner there, where Kiltimagh looked like it was like a scenario where they'd got 1 or 2 of their goals where they were running at Louisburgh, but they got a second man back to help out. If they'd done that earlier, they wouldn't be facing a 9-point deficit now. But if they can continue that, they have a slight chance.
Okay, we'll stay with it for a moment, Jimmy. We're going to bring in a moment as well Brendan Mooney and Colm Clark, the Louisburgh and Kiltimagh co-commentators. The breeze is rising, as you can see. Now here they come. Here come Brendan and Colm, and we'll let Jimmy go back out to do further mulling and pouring over. Colm, it's a bit better than it was, but it's still not great, and I'm not talking about the weather.
Oh, you're not? No, look, them 3 goals inside of 10 minutes or so, they're done serious damage. And Louisburgh were shell shocked, understandably, and I think since the sending off, I think Louisburgh has picked up a small bit of momentum, and maybe Kiltimagh a little bit rattled. But as I said there, just at half time, look, Louisburgh could get 3 goals just in a hop too. Like the conditions are gone very squally, very scrappy. They need a goal fairly quick anyway, straight after half time, so they won't be piling on the pressure with the extra man.
Brendan, Jimmy was saying in discipline, you were cruising along, next thing you have a man sent off, getting sucked into a few things. No need for it, really.
Absolutely no need for it. It was a soft yellow card, the second yellow card, but when you get involved in it, there's a chance of it, and it's continued on. It'd be a concern I'd have for the second half, Liam, is that we have, I think Killian Finn is already on a yellow, and he doesn't hold back. We have other lads that are getting involved in off the ball instances. I think, look, we're 3 goals up at the half time. We need to be clever, we need to work hard the second half and stay out of any off the ball messing, and power on. That's what we need to do.
What impact do you see the breeze having? It is rising.
It is rising, and just looking at the flags where it was going directly across the breeze or across the pitch in the first half, it's going to favour Louisburgh in the second half. We need to pile in the backs, fill the spaces, maybe sacrifice a man up front and run the ball maybe a bit more than we did in the first half. And we might have to run it rather than letting it in quick into the 2 lines and full forward line if Liam has to pull out or David has to pull out. I think our bench in the second half, fresh legs will be important as well, which we should bring in as when are needed, to fill the spaces.
Colm, what's the Louisburgh agenda now?
Keep probably sacrifice our spare man and drop him back as a sweeper in front of the ferocious nippy forwards, great handling, and try and break at pace and try and hit the full forward line a little bit more often. And they're holding up at the 45, little bit ponderous, because trying to wait for numbers to come in. There's only 2 men inside with us as well, and maybe they'll go for the 3-man full forward line, drop the man back then for the second half. Okay,
both teams are back out, and I'll bring back in Edwin McGrail, our match commentator, to rejoin Colm and Brendan. And Edwin, here you go. The breeze is getting stronger. It'll be interesting what impact that has.
Absolutely, Liam. Yeah, with 9 points between the teams, but Louisburgh with an extra man, with the wind at their backs. It'll be interesting to see if Pádraig Prendergast is utilised in the full forward line. He certainly looks as if he's going into the throw-in, but that shouldn't necessarily mean a whole pile. Much like Aidan O'Shea with Mayo, you tend to put your best fielder in for the throw-in, regardless of whether he's going to wait at midfield or not. Charlie Collins now has the ball, and Louisburgh are lining up. It'll be interesting to see for the throw-in who is Louisburgh's extra man. It looks like it's going to be Ray Prendergast. Ray Prendergast free on the Kiltimagh 40, or on the Louisburgh 45. So Louisburgh playing with 6 defenders, Kiltimagh 5 forwards, and it's 6 on 6 at the other end. Louisburgh win the throw-in. Joe Dawson, who is out to midfield, won that throw-in, and he's received the ball and played it off to Kevin Gibbons. Kevin Gibbons now trying to find space. He's hit late, or hit with a foul. I said Charlie Collins, Stephen McDonald, the Kiltimagh player that put in that tackle, and Pádraig Prendergast now has a free just inside the 45 facing the town end here in Ballina, as you can see, and this kick might give us an idea what the wind is like, but no, not when Pádraig decides to kick it short, and kicks it short to Michael Gibbons, back to Alan Moore. And Alan Moore tried to turn inside, but he lost it in the tackle, and Kieran Charlton is the man that comes away with it. But Charlton, under pressure from Pádraig Prendergast, manages to offload it, but Matty Cummins fails to keep the ball alive. Loose hand pass in his direction, in fairness to him, and it's over the line. And the wind is really picking up here, and it's Louisburgh who have possession. Joe Dawson offloads to Pádraig O'Malley. Pádraig O'Malley back to Eamon O'Malley, the man from Clare Island. Stephen Corrigan now back to Pádraig Prendergast, who takes his time winding up the shot, but never got enough purchase on it, and it dropped short. And Kevin Mulderrig was grateful to receive it there inside the large parallelogram, and Kiltimagh come out with the ball. A good big hit there by Pádraig Prendergast on Mulderrig, but Kiltimagh keep the ball. And Sean Walsh now with the ball on the left wing. Conor Heenahan draws two men into him and offloads to Walsh, to Killian Finn inside. Killian Finn now turns inside, plays it to Conor Heenahan. Kiltimagh a bit slower, developing, they're clearly working on making sure they retain the ball going through the phases. And Ronan Malee now finds Liam Lydon, and Liam Lydon will look to take on Ray Prendergast. He takes him on and gets around him and offloads to Killian Finn. Killian Finn with that trusty left foot again has the shot, and Killian Finn with a point, his third point today. He kicked 6 points before today, so that's his 9th point in this year's Mayo Intermediate Championship. He's a wing back, remember. Excellent left foot on him, Brendan. Every time you see him in a shooting position, you want to see him shooting from a Kiltimagh point of view.
Every time he's going forward, I want to see him putting his left leg around that ball and putting it over the bar. I was asked before the game who should Stephen Rochford be looking for today, and I mentioned Killian, and by today's performance he should get an FBD run.
Absolutely, yeah. You call that one well, and like we said before the game, good pedigree there as well. Killian is son of John Finn, who played at wing back for Mayo in the 1989 All-Ireland final. And Kiltimagh now come out with the ball. It's Jason Forkin in possession. Carried the ball into the tackle with Pádraig Prendergast, but managed to offload to Kieran Charlton. Paul Kelly now kicks the ball in the wing towards David Lydon now. Lydon has Marcus O'Malley for company. Lydon, who has scored 2-2 so far today. Lydon still in possession. Those 2 goals could be very crucial by the time this game is over. Kiltimagh will hope that they are. Kieran Charlton releases to Paul Kelly and takes the return. Charlton took off as fast as he could to try and get inside, but just couldn't get free from the Louisburgh cover. So Kiltimagh again being methodical with the possession, playing the high percentage pass as much as possible. Conor Heenan played one of those to Sean Walsh, who hand passed towards Liam Lydon. Lydon guilty waiting for the ball though, and Stephen Corrigan is in to turn him over, and as he tried to pick up that ball, Liam Lydon went in with the tackle. Charlie Collins says you can't do that, and it's a free for Louisburgh. But certainly, Brendan, the Kiltimagh tactic in the first half of kicking the ball directly inside, not so easy to do with a man less, and also with the wind in your face.
Yeah, and I think we set up with David on his own in there. I'm surprised Louisburgh aren't using the ball in a bit earlier like we did in the first half. I know they just tried it there, but yeah, we have one man now inside our own half, and I think that's the way it's going to be with the man down, and it's such a strong breeze.
So Alan Moore in there from Louisburgh looking for the direct ball. He arrowed in a good dangerous ball, but it was just misread inside. It's a full forward line, a 2-man full forward line at the minute of Michael Gibbons and Osty O'Malley inside for Louisburgh. So Pádraig Prendergast is out around midfield at the start of this half certainly, and it'll be interesting to see what tactic Louisburgh use to try and make the most of that. A kick pass though down the line looking for Sean Walsh, intercepted by Joe Dawson. And Osty O'Malley now, who we mentioned has been inside, is now out around midfield, kicked it down the line towards Michael Gibbons, but it carries too far. So that's 2 balls in a row that Louisburgh have tried to find, tried to kick long inside, but they've carried too long and have been turned over. And that's in marked contrast to the first half, where the direct ball in for Kiltimagh was hitting the man, and they were absolutely able to make dividends from that. And Damien Gallagher, grateful to run all the way to the corner flag to get that ball. I'm sure at Louisburgh they're getting the ball ready here. Why isn't there a second ball behind the goal? They're wondering. They're going to make sure that that's the last time that happens. And 2 O'Neill's been brought down, but Damien was very quick to make sure he was gone after that ball, and then started to slow down, Brendan.
Damien's not one that likes running a training, but he was happy to go out there as far to the corner and slow this game down. Every minute wasted at the minute suits Culchima. With 3 goals and a point up, with a strong breeze against us and a man down, every chance we get to slow this game down, we should take it.
James Dowd now, who is been introduced to the fray for Louisburgh, and it's on for Tom Dawson. So James Dowd is in, and the kick out is taken while Louisburgh still have 16 men on the pitch, and indeed Charlie Collins tells them to take it again. James Dowd, he'll bring a lot of pace to the game now for Louisburgh.
He should, yeah. He'll inject plenty of pace if he gets on the ball, and he'll hopefully break through the cover.
Damien Gallagher kicking it long on top of Stephen MacDonald, caught it well at the second attempt, and that'll be crucial that the Kiltimagh are able to secure their own kick out. They were very good at that in the first half, and with a man less, the short kick out won't be as much, or shouldn't be as much of an option for them. And they're going through the phases again here now, and Ronan Malee is carrying the ball. Off the ball, Killian Finn went to the ground. There was a contact between him and Pádraig Prendergast, but play on is the message. And David Lydon now soloing with that left foot, in no rush whatsoever inside his own 45, or inside the Kiltimagh, or Louisburgh 45 rather, and Paul Kelly kicks it long towards the far wing, looking for Kieran Charlton, but there's too much purchase in that ball, and it's over the sideline. Very different style of attack and play this half, Brendan, from Kiltimagh, but not necessarily working to dividend just yet.
No, as you said, with the man down in the breeze, we have to go shorter. We cannot be kicking that ball in; it just won't travel. And Davidson there on his own. Yeah, we're just slowing it down. Once we do get that ball inside our own 45, we're just slowing it down a little too much. I think David has held the ball there 2 or 3 times and just slowed it down, giving Louisburgh the chance to get back and giving them the chance to build like they are now.
And it's Joe Dawson now who's carrying it into the Kiltimagh 45. He releases it to James Dowd. James Dowd with the left foot. It's a good ball inside to Osty O'Malley, but Osty fails to secure the ball. And Kiltimagh was a good ball in by James Dowd, but Osty O'Malley just maybe misread the flight of the ball, and Damien Gallagher takes on Pádraig Prendergast there successfully and comes away with the ball. Gallagher shouldered. James Dowd nearly turned them over, but the referee has blown the whistle for what seems to be an indiscretion by Michael Gibbons, I think it was, on the Kiltimagh goalkeeper Damien Gallagher, who's still down, and a yellow card for Michael Gibbons for that. And I was looking at that. I don't know if you saw the incident, Brendan, but I think Damien will be okay.
I'd say Damien will survive this one. Yeah, I think he'll be okay. He got just as he laid the ball off, there was a push on him, and that's where the free came from. We were lucky that Charlie Collins kept a hand up for the advantage, because Brian, Damien's brother, lost the ball in the tackle, and when he tried to toe poke it over to Paul Kelly, it was blocked. So Louisburgh were through on goal if we hadn't got that free.
So very good, very judicious use of the advantage rule there indeed by Charlie Collins. No advantage accrued, in fact the direct opposite for Kiltimagh, and he blew the free, and it's a Kiltimagh free out. A yellow card for Michael Gibbons, and a chance for Kiltimagh to slow things down and take a bit of time out of the game. The free being taken now. It's a drop kick into the wind. It's never really a high percentage option, and doesn't prove to be the case on this occasion either. Pádraig O'Malley intercepted the man who was a late addition to the team for Louisburgh, and Osty O'Malley now offloads to Joe Dawson. Joe Dawson is carrying to Eamon O'Malley. Eamon O'Malley is trying to charge through. Brian Gallagher is the man closest to him, but there's 3 other Kiltimagh guys around him, and a combination of them committed a foul, according to Charlie Collins, right on the 21 metre line. Showed some strong running there now by Louisburgh, and it proved to be more successful than the direct ball inside, which hasn't exactly worked for them in the second half so far. Kevin Gibbons gratefully kicks the ball over the bar, and it's 3-7 now to 7 points in the second half here in Ballina, and Louisburgh's first score of the second half, but they will really need to start making inroads much faster than they have been so far, Colm.
They will. Like it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes now into the second half, and there's a lot of play going around the middle of the field. Bit of niggling still going on, but Louisburgh are introducing their young Dylan Pender, from Clare Island. So. He's again another bit of pace. Michael Gibbons is coming off for him.
A quick shout out to 82-year-old Mary Jo Ball, who's at the match today supporting Louisburgh. A great Louisburgh football name indeed, the Balls. And Mary Jo, we hope you're staying warm here in Ballina. It's getting stormy here, and Louisburgh secure that possession. Michael Gibbons coming off to the bench here after Dylan Pender coming on for him, and Louisburgh are inside the Kiltimagh D and they're trying to carry it forward. I think it was Dylan Pender, barely seconds on the free on the pitch, and he's fouled by Kieran Charlton, and it's a free 25 metres out straight between the posts. So a chance now for Louisburgh to just bit by bit try and eat into that lead. It's 9 points at the minute, and you would feel, Brendan, that they're going to need a goal. Kiltimagh will be trying to make sure that they don't concede a goal.
Yeah, I think Louisburgh realise that, and they're looking for goals all the time. The last 2 points they've got have been where Kiltimagh men have literally dragged their men down, and that's a dangerous tactic because the black card is still in effect, and I hope we don't lose anyone to a black card.
Kevin Gibbons kicked that free over with the minimum of fuss, and it's now 3-7 to Kiltimagh, 8 points to Louisburgh. 18 or so minutes left in this game, and it's Owen Lavin, another son of a famous Mayo footballer, son of Eugene, the former Mayo goalkeeper. Owen Lavin coming on. He's a man with Mayo minor experience, but as Brendan said at the outset, recovering from a cruciate injury, and he's coming on in place of David Lydon, who was in fairness, you might wonder about that switch when you look at the score beside his name, but he was a late fitness test, and it could be fears over that, Brendan, and him worsening the injury in some shape or form.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure it is, and he's done Trojan work today. Between his first half exploits, he's done an awful lot of work so far in the second half, so he's probably tired.
And Kiltimagh secured that kick out. How many times have we said it was Sean Walsh who caught the ball clean in the air? He's been imperious at midfield for Kiltimagh in this game, and they're driving forward. Conor Heenan hand passes to Killian Finn. There you have both wing backs again in the half forward, or in the full forward position, and Owen Lavin. From our vantage point, it looked over. Is the referee, is the linesman going to have an influence on this? Owen Lavin is insisting it was over. Both umpires are being spoken to by Kiltimagh players, but I don't think what they say is going to have any impact. There seems to be confusion. One saying it was a point, one saying it was wide, and from our vantage point here, the linesman Declan O'Boyle arguably had the best view of it, but Charlie Collins, after speaking to both his umpires, is happy to award the score. Super kick, first involvement from Owen Lavin, is a brilliant left footed, and it's 3 goals and 8 points to Kiltimagh, 8 points to Louisburgh. In fairness, Brendan, it did look over from our perspective.
It did, and as you said there, it was a great shot from the wrong side for a left footed player. Great way to start off as he comes into the game. He's a real threat on.
Kiltimagh worked the ball out, or Louisburgh rather worked the ball out short from the kick out. Joe Dawson looking to carry, but it's not a high percentage hand pass at all, and it carries wide, and Kiltimagh looking to build out. Brendan, I suppose they'll need to inject maybe a bit more pace into their attacks when they have the ball in this situation.
Yeah, it's interesting to see as we go forward. We can't get caught up in the middle of the field. We got to drive through and push at Louisburgh. We have no one inside, so we don't have the option, and we could get caught just like there, and that's the danger.
James Gibbons had intercepted the ball, looked to play it to Pádraig Prendergast inside, but superb defending by Paul Kelly, who seems to have followed Prendergast back in there, and Kiltimagh come away with the ball. Owen Lavin here involved on the line with James Dowd, but Kiltimagh lose possession, and again it's that man Joe Dawson who offloads to Austin O'Malley, who was almost the last man back, bar the Louisburgh goalkeeper Andrew Cosgrave, and Austin O'Malley to Alan Moore, and Alan Moore to Eamon O'Malley, the full back. Kiltimagh have so many men forward, or Louisburgh rather have so many men forward, they actually have only 2 players in their own half. That's number 20 Marcus O'Malley and goalkeeper Andrew Cosgrove, and Kiltimagh have possession, and Kieran Charlton is looking to come out with the ball. Charlton will have to go back, there's no one in front of him. He hand passes, but Eamon O'Malley intercepted the hand pass and went over the line, but he went in for a bit of afters then with Kieran Charlton. A little dunt of the shoulder, and Charlie Collins is going over here. Sean McHale, the linesman, shouldn't be anything more than a yellow card if it even is a yellow card, but we saw there, Joe Cullum, when Louisburgh are attacking, they have the bodies forward, but they're not maybe making the most of the ball when they do have it.
And that was it, yeah. But as you're saying, there's only the substitute number 22 for Kiltimagh inside their own 45 now. Everybody is crowded back, and it's it's just unbelievably crowded in there, and it's just going to be kind of a stroke of luck now if Louisburgh are able to muster a goal, because the crowd back there is unbelievable.
And there's Pádraig Prendergast now is taking up his position right in front of the Kiltimagh goal, and Paul Kelly is following him all the way back. And a yellow card there for Eamon O'Malley for that incident we spoke about. And Jason Forkin, who carries the ball forward. Forkin has tried to get forward quite a lot today, and Ronan Malee has space here to drive on at Liam Lydon rather. And Ronan Malee receives the ball back from Liam Lydon, back to Lydon again, and Lydon finds Killian Finn with that left foot. He's hardly going to kick a 4-point. It looks like he is. No, I gave him that's his 5th shot today, but that one was wide. 3 out of 5 though is not bad by any standards, particularly from a defensive point of view. And Kiltimagh about to make a sub here now. Another quality player coming into the fray. Tomas Keegan is coming on, and it looks like Stephen McDonnell is the player who's going to make way. And it looks like Louisburgh are ready to make a switch as well. It looks like James Fox-Gibbons, not to be confused with right half forward James Slick-Gibbons. I was hoping both players wouldn't be on at once, but we'll deal with that. So if you're hearing talk of Fox and Slick, that's why, because there's 2 James Gibbons.
Substitution on the Kiltimagh team, number 18,
and it is indeed
12, Stephen McDonnell.
James Fox-Gibbons, who is on in place of Paul McDonnell. McDonnell had a good first half with two good points, but he's been called ashore now. He's seen little enough ball in the second half.
James Gibbons has replaced number 13.
We're into the last quarter of the game here, and Charlie Collins is going over to speak to James Dowd. We're not sure what this was in relation to, but James Dowd acknowledges the caution, and it is a yellow card for James Dowd from Charlie Collins. And Andrew Cosgrave now with the kick out. He's able to go short. Indeed, Kiltimagh, I think, are happy to let the kick out go short and get organised defensively, because you can't imagine that Louisburgh will win this game without scoring goals. Ossie O'Malley again is deep, and he offloads to Marcus O'Malley. Marcus now to James Slick-Gibbons. James looking to offload, picks a good pass inside to Pádraig Prendergast. Prendergast now looks to turn Brian Gallagher, but Gallagher stands him up quite well. That's exactly what Kiltimagh want to do defensively. He manages to offload, and it's Alan Moore now who tries to turn inside. Moore is forced back. Dylan Pender back to James Dowd. James Dowd lands it in. Oh, there was a punch in there by Kevin Gibbons. It could have went into the net, but Damien Gallagher did enough, I think, to ensure it wasn't going to be easy to put it into the net, Brendan, and it went over the bar for a point for Louisburgh.
It is, yeah, but that's what Louisburgh seem to be hell-bent on, getting goals now. Every time they're attacking, they're not looking to take the point on. They're looking to put it into that danger area in front of Damien Golly, and that ball could have ended in the back of the net there. We'll take a point there for Louisburgh.
Damien Gallagher now with the kick out. He takes it short to Jason Forkin. Jason Forkin got away from Dylan Pender, and he hand passes back to Gallagher now. Gallagher will wait here as long as he wants, I think, with the ball, unless a Louisburgh man decides to come near him. Gallagher has taken about 6 or 7 plays now, and eventually hand passes it out the field to that man Sean Walsh. Sean Walsh now offloads to Jason Forkin. Jason Forkin down the line to Conor Heenan. Conor Heenan, the man who commentates on football for Joe.ie, and is shown he can walk the walk as well today. Conor offloads to Kieran Charlton. Kieran Charlton now. Kiltimagh still not out of their own half though. The pass from Charlton is towards Matty Cummins, the corner back, and again they're still inside their own half, and Louisburgh will be looking to push up here and keep Kiltimagh pinned back. And there's a turnover coming, but indeed the ball goes loose, and play on, says Charlie Collins. And Kiltimagh is still inside their own half. Kieran Charlton now, he loses the possession, and it's there loose. Oh, the ball was loose. The Louisburgh man went to pick it up, and Louisburgh man went to pick it up, but a Kiltimagh body swung quite wildly on it. I think it would look like Liam Lydon, and there was a bit of afters then involving a couple of other players, but We spoke about this in the first half. Things had the potential to spill out of control. In fairness, this second half has been played in a very sporting manner, but Liam Lydon has been spoken to here by Charlie Collins after that incident. It's probably going to be a yellow card, one would think, and indeed it is, and it's a free for Louisburgh. But it was interesting there, Brendan. Kiltimagh, whether by design or whether down to Louisburgh's persistence, couldn't get out of their own half.
Yeah, well, that's the problem when you do go down a man and you have a strong breeze against you. You have a black card there actually for Louisburgh.
Yeah, black card there for Alan Moran for that incident. We spoke after the foul by Liam Lydon, and it's a black card for Alan Moran, the Louisburgh veteran, and he's coming off. But Louisburgh moved the play on. Ball goes loose from and it's Liam Lydon, I think, and Kevin Gibbons who collide, and Charlie Collins stops the game there, basically on the basis that there could have been a head injury, and indeed Liam Lydon looks like he's in some difficulty. John O'Reilly is coming on here now, that black card replacement for Alan Moran, who was sanctioned for that incident there. And the wind is really picking up here in Ballina, and not necessarily a good thing from a Louisburgh point of view, because it's going to make controlling the football that bit more difficult, and the direct ball hasn't necessarily worked for Louisburgh in any event, Colin.
No, it hasn't. It's a rotten breeze there. It's going straight across the field into the stand. So it's nearly the long ball is nearly what we want, but it's impossible at the moment. Just with these frees, it's the only opportunity to try and swing a ball in and to try and maybe drop it in around the house in the hope of a goal, because it is goals we need now at this stage.
And time being taken here now as Liam Lydon is being treated, but Kiltimagh will be very happy if things continue on this vein, Brendan.
They will, yeah. We're finding it difficult to get out of our own half, and I hope Liam is all right there. He seems to be in some amount of pain as Fergal Carroll is treating him. He's getting up now, but yeah, look, the second half has been tit for tat, which we'll take considering our lead at half time, but we need to be more clinical with the final pass.
Kevin Gibbons opts to go short with that free and offloads, and surely that's a foul there, but referee Charlie Collins, in fairness, is playing advantage, and it's back to Kevin Gibbons. Kevin Gibbons swings for a point, but it's wide on the right hand side, and the advantage deemed to have been over by that stage. In fairness, it was some almost 10 seconds after the initial foul, and Kiltimagh making a sub here. Number 17, Paddy McDonnell, is entering the fray, and is it Liam Lydon who is still feeling the effects of that collision there earlier with James Gibbons? In fairness to Charlie Collins, he was very alert to the dangers of that clash as soon as it happened, and he stopped the play instantly, and rightly so. And Liam Lydon not able to continue and limping off here with the assistance of Kiltimagh physio Fergal Carroll, and it's Paddy McDonnell who comes on. And again, another example of the quality of the Kiltimagh bench, Brendan.
Yes, Paddy McDonnell started the last day in the quarter-final and is a fine substitute to bring on. So we're taking off strong players, we're bringing on equally good players. Yeah, it's
and it's Stephen Corrigan with the shot from the right hand wing. Super point. He floated it up on the breeze. Probably the best example of using that breeze we've seen in the second half so far. And Stephen Corrigan arches it over the bar, and it's 3 goals and 8 points now for Kiltimagh. 10 points for Louisburgh. It's a 7-point game, and Damien Gallagher is able to go short. And it's Kieran Charlton that's coming out with the ball. He's hit late by Kevin Gibbons, but play goes on. Damien Gallagher now with the possession. He offloads, and Kiltimagh now eventually they have a bit of space. Matty Cummins is making the run and trying to drive on, and he's carried it into the Louisburgh half. And Kiltimagh, if they move the ball quickly, they have numbers and they have space. Owen Lavin with the ball now. Owen Lavin releases to Tomás Keegan. Tomás Keegan winds up the shot, but it looks like it's going to drop short with that wind. If he was at the other end, that might have carried over, but not enough on it, and Louisburgh come out with the ball. Have Kiltimagh committed bodies forward? If Louisburgh move this ball fairly quickly, they might have more space than they normally do. We see Brian Gallagher racing back, Killian Finn racing back, Sean Walsh racing back, and Kiltimagh look like they might have just slowed things down enough. And Louisburgh now with the ball. It's Michael Gibbons coming down the wing into the last 5 minutes here now in Ballina, and that's a harsh decision now, you would have to say, against Stephen Corrigan. He touched the ball on the ground, that's absolutely correct, but after being fouled, one thought, but Charlie Collins said he wasn't fouled, and so it was an indiscretion for a technical foul for touching it on the ground. Ronan Malee now turns inside Eamon O'Malley. I think that was a shot. It was probably not one of his better efforts, definitely not one of his better efforts, and it never even rose above 3 foot in the air and went harmlessly into the goalkeeper's arms. And once more, Louisburg attack. Dylan Pender with the ball now. Offloads to James Fox-Gibbons. And Charlie Collins. Louisburg trying to move the ball quickly, but Charlie Collins wants to talk to Kieran Charlton, and that's probably a good scenario as well from a Kiltimagh point of view. It allows them to get organised, Brendan.
Yeah, absolutely. Kieran using all his experience there, just slowing the ball down. Now he's got into the boot, but he's probably done it 3 or 4 times, but it's what we need at the minute. We need to slow this game down. 5 minutes to go. We're 7 points up, with I don't think we've a man in our own half at this stage, so it's batting down the hatches at this stage, just like the wind.
Louisburg now still working the ball around the middle of the field. Pádraig Prendergast is still inside in the full forward line, but he hasn't got a whole pile to work with. Ossie O'Malley does well to secure that ball and plays it to Eamon O'Malley. Eamon O'Malley looks to drive to James Slick Gibbons. Slick offloads to Eamon O'Malley. Eamon O'Malley trying to drive on. Advantage being played, or is it? It's a shot in from Pádraig Prendergast. We spoke about him not getting much to work with. He got a shot there. He went for goal. It trailed just wide, and the umpire signalled that it got a touch on the way, and it's 45 ball. We're not sure. It was hard to tell not, but 45 is the decision being given. There was certainly a goal chance there. Kiltimagh did everything in their power to stop Eamon O'Malley. Indeed, he was fouled, but play was let continue, because a free was not what Louisburg were looking for in that situation. And Pádraig Prendergast, who's been in full forward for most of the second half, finally got something to work with. Colm.
Yeah, it was a great run of play there, and great running by Eamon O'Malley. He's as strong as a bull. Like, it takes 3 or 4 of them to take him. And Pádraig just unlucky. It looks like it was a save, because it could have been going in only for that touch. So like that now, a goal would make a massive difference. So one.
We saw there a second ball on the pitch, unceremoniously kicked off the pitch by Ray Prendergast, and the linesman here has his flag up. We're not sure what for, but the 45 from James seemingly for being taken from the wrong spot, and Kiltimagh are trying to come out with the ball, and it's a free out. So Kiltimagh have weathered that storm for the time being.
Yeah, thank God. We've got 3 or 4 minutes left. Probably would added on time. We should hold out. Hopefully, we'll keep plugging away. We just need to keep the ball in blue. We've got to keep possession. It's a strong breeze now against us. It's not ideal conditions for football, and we just got to hold that ball as long as possible and keep it in blue.
Kevin Gibbons now with possession for Louisburg as they go in search of that goal that they desperately need. He definitely overcarried there. Yeah, he had a couple of seconds there where he had to make up his mind, but he didn't take a play, he didn't offload, and it's a free out, and Kiltimagh will love that chance to just slow things down and work it out the field. TJ Byrne has been introduced, another Kiltimagh sub with serious pedigree, son of Big Tom Byrne. And Kiltimagh come out the field. Killian Finn kicks the ball down to TJ Byrne, a big strong man, well able to win the ball in that situation, and he offloaded to Paul Kelly, and Paul Kelly attacking inside the Louisburg 45 to Finn, back to Kelly. Kelly goes on and he hand passes it over the bar. That's a great score from a Kiltimagh perspective. TJ Byrne involved with his first touch. Killian Finn, who has attacked relentlessly all day, he provided the final assist, and Paul Kelly with the point kick. So it's 3-9 to 10 points here in favour of Kiltimagh, and Louisburg coming away with it. They're going to need to get a goal fairly quickly, Colm.
Yeah, there's just under 2 minutes left now, so it's they're just going to have to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Kiltimagh and try and get a ball in across, but Kiltimagh is just covering too well there at the moment, and they're breaking out with every ball, so it could be all but lost now at this stage, I'm afraid, for Louisburg.
Kiltimagh turned over that ball, and it's Owen Lavin now who takes it on, tries to take on Eamon O'Malley. Eamon O'Malley, like Colm said, a big strong man. Lavin looked like he was fouled there, but play on, and Jason Forkin gets the ball and manages to get away from 2 Louisburg defenders, and Forkin drops his shot, but it falls short. Again, we see the wind there at play. That's a couple of shots now Kiltimagh have had in the last 10 minutes that have fallen short. Ball out was a poor one. Sean Walsh nearly got something on it, but it went loose, and Joe Dawson comes out with the ball. Joe Dawson now carrying the ball on. Dawson's hand pass to Kevin Gibbons. James Slick Gibbons rather, and he's trying to take on the ground. He's fouled in, and it looked like there might have been an incident just after that. Killian Finn that went to ground. Pádraig Prendergast tried to take the free quickly, but Killian Finn is down. There seems to be looks like he possibly might have got a bit of a dig there. We're not sure though if it was spotted by the umpires or if it was spotted by Charlie Collins or the linesman. Certainly it was. Charlie Collins looked by speaking into his umpires. It looks like he hasn't seen it himself, and he's going in to speak to his umpires. Is there going to be any sanction here? It's Pádraig Prendergast with the ball. Prendergast tried to take the quickly. He slipped. It would have been a turnover, but Charlie Collins said he wasn't ready. He's going. He's speaking to. It looks like James Slick Gibbons has been spoken to here. If it was a strike, if the umpire deemed that it was a strike, and Charlie Collins is taking that point of view, it could be a red card here, and it could be 14 v 14. It's a yellow card for James Slick Gibbons. So a bit of consternation from the Kiltimagh line. Their argument would be, what was the yellow card offence for? It was either striking or it wasn't. But regardless, on we go. It's 15 v 14. Pádraig Prendergast took that free, put it over. It's 3-9 to 11 points in favour of Kiltimagh. And number 19, Jack Carroll, who started the last game, is in for Kiltimagh, and it looks like Killian Finn that's off. Killian Finn, the man who went to ground there, kicked 3 points from play from wing back, and has been one of the players who has been to the fore in Kiltimagh's efforts so far today. Damien Gallagher with the kick out. It's long on top of John O'Reilly, and in the mix there, whatever happened, Charlie Collins says it's a free. He hasn't signalled which way, but it seems to be a Louisburgh free. There's 2 Kiltimagh players down, but play goes on. Oscar O'Malley takes the free, kicks it towards the wing. Joe Dawson with the ball, the number 2 who's playing out in midfield in the second half. Dawson makes it through. How many players? Brilliant by Dawson. That is as good a goal as you could expect to see with so many defenders around him. Dawson managed to navigate his way, tackle and forward, left-footed shot low into the corner of the net. 3 goals and 9 points to 1 goal and 11 points. It's 2.5 minutes into injury time. Is it too late, Colm, at this stage?
I'd say, probably 3-4 minutes tops of injury time. So it's a lot to ask now. It is a lot to ask. I'd say Kiltimagh are near enough home and dry now, but who knows? It just depends how long is left now.
Kick out goes long, caught superbly cleanly by Tomas Keegan. It was an awkward type of a height. It wasn't over, but for reasons that we're not entirely clear on, Charlie Collins is hopping the ball. We're not entirely sure what the indiscretion there is, but Pádraig Prendergast goes in for the hop and seemed to have it, but then it goes loose, and a Kiltimagh man has the ball now, but can he secure possession? He manages to offload. I think it was Big Sean Walsh there that did Trojan work there under pressure to offload that ball, and Kiltimagh coming out, and it's TJ Byrne. He had the ball, but then he slipped under pressure, or he's not so much under pressure, but just the conditions here, and it's a foul then by TJ Byrne, and a bit of a skirmish here in front of us. And Kiltimagh, or Louisburgh, with the free. John Kelly is on the pitch there trying to encourage his players. Kevin Gibbons now with the free to Joe Dawson, the goal scorer. Dawson, he's done for touching the ball on the ground. Indeed, that's the second decision that Charlie Collins has pulled for touching on the ground in this half, where it looked like there was an initial foul against the man who was adjudged to have touched it on the ground, but it's a Kiltimagh free, and there was another incident there between John Riley and TJ Byrne, a bit of getting to know each other, and referee, our linesman Declan O'Boyle waved it away. Corner forward, or Paddy McDonald is inside, and he manages to receive the loose ball. McDonald still going, gets the shot off with his left foot and over the bar. A good score, a settling score for Kiltimagh. 3 goals and 10 points to 1 goal and 11 points. 19 points to 14. 5 points should be enough of a margin this late into the game, Brendan.
Yeah, well, that's it. Charlie Collins has just blown the whistle. Good win for Kiltimagh.
All over here, as you say, Brendan, in Kiltimagh, or in Ballina. It's Kiltimagh who win this Egan Jewelers Mayo Intermediate Football Championship semi-final on a final scoreline of Kiltimagh 3 goals and 10 points. Louisburgh 1 goal and 11 points. When we look back on that game, lads, it was a game where the 3 goals in the first half in such a short period of time turned out to be absolutely crucial, and they were ultimately the difference between the teams.
Yeah, for me, I think the first half, that 10-minute spell in the first half where David Lydon and Killian Finn in particular really dominated the game. David got 2 crucial goals there, and Roland's goal as well. But for me, Killian Finn really impressed today, driving forward. 3 points from play from Manny Winback is a great return. He's a fantastic young footballer.
And indeed, I see Killian Finn has been I think Liam Horan has Killian there.
Okay,
Killian
thank
Finn,
you.
kicked
I
3
hope we're
points
coming
from wing
through.
back.
And thank you very much, Edwin. Yes, I'm joined by Killian Finn. Killy, you got there. You could have a little bit fine in the finish, but I think probably the better team overall.
Yeah, I think we're the better team. Yeah, we're unfortunate in the first half to get a player sent off, but we stuck in and moved the ball fast and kept popping them over the bar.
It was a messy kind of a day for football.
Yeah, it was. We were lucky the rain stayed off, but still it was still slippy out there, and it was a messy enough game, but we stuck in it.
So Brendan Mooney, your colleague, was saying earlier on you wanted to get back to a final. You weren't happy with your performance last year. You're there now.
Yeah, exactly. Last year was a big wake-up call. We didn't show up on the day at all. So now we're not doing it again this year. This is our year, and we're gonna do it next week in the final. So yeah.
Did it hurt as Westport went on and won the All-Ireland, Connaught and All-Ireland final?
Yeah, that's what made it worse. That's what made it even worse, because we knew we were up there. We knew we didn't show up on the day last year, and we knew we were well able to go as far as they did and win the All-Ireland. Well, hopefully we'll do it this year now and redeem ourselves.
Okay, Killian, thank you very much. Like his father John before, a great wing back, Killian Finn, and Ronan Malee is beside me as well too. Ronan, it was worrying enough stuff out there, but you got there with a bit of comfort, I suppose, overall. A bit tight at the finish, but you're the better team throughout, as I've been saying to Killian there.
Yeah, I suppose just the fact that we got to such a purple patch there in the first half. We're probably 9, maybe 12 points up, I think, at one stage, and when we got the sending off, I suppose, give them an extra impetus that we kind of had to drop back a little bit, more than we would have if we had the full complement, but we're back where we needed to be. We didn't perform last year in the county final, and as I said, when people asked me after that game, that was probably the most flattering 6-point defeat I've ever been aside. Yes. We were so far off it, and I think that's what's drove us on this year, both in the league and the championship, that we have to bring that intensity that we just didn't bring last year. And same, we didn't bring it against Moy Davits in the first round, and they handed us a whooping in the first half. Now we nearly got back in it, but look, we are where we want to be, and it doesn't really matter who we get.
Insofar as you can assess it, why was that last year, do you think? When you look back at it, does anything add up that it didn't happen?
Well, if you're being frank about it, Westport were just better than us. They were probably a bit more batting hardened, and they, like, when you're bringing back the footballer of the year into the mix, they were just physically, and we got caught in the headlights, and we just didn't perform. And I suppose we'll look at it again next. I don't know if the final is next week, is it, or the following week? Next week, look, we will perform compared to last year. That's a fact.
So today, Louisburgh, you got that purple patch, as you said. They were always chasing to try and get a chance rather than having a real chance, I guess. So the late goal brought them back into it again, but you kept them more or less at arm's length, I think, generally.
Yeah, I suppose we put it that we wanted to start well. We had a habit of letting teams have head start on us, and I suppose Adnaree there last week, they were 6 points up on us. We just didn't want, because Louisburgh have, they got to the junior semi-final last year, so they're there on merit, and but we knew if we performed, we're going up to Division 1 football next year. Ballina beat us, and we've only lost one game in the league, so we knew if we brought our A game, we weren't going to be beaten today, and that's how it worked out,
Okay, well, one more hurdle to jump, Ronan. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers. Ronan Malee there, the Kilchmagh corner forward, famous Kilchmagh name, of course. I think we might have Ger Flanagan from the Mayo News as well, Ball footballer. He's going to join us as well. We'll get Ger to have a quick word on what transpired there. First of all, Ger, I presume you were in for the first game there, Ger, yeah?
Yeah, I was watching a good game, good performance. Kilchmagh, I think they'd won at half time. Really, the 3 goals came at a crucial time. It was a big step up for Louisburgh coming today. Kilchmagh obviously playing in the intermediate final last year, and Louisburgh winning the junior final. It's a fair step up and a fair achievement to get to the semi-final, but I just think they lost to the better team today.
Okay, and one of them is here with us, Jason Forkin. Jason, come over here beside us a second too. We won't delay you too long. I'm sure you want to get in. While it was a game that you won with a little bit of comfort, it was still a very competitive game.
Yeah, look, it was a very tough game. Was going a man down. We struggled then to get scores after that. We knew they were going to go hard at it, and look, they came out and they fought and they played very well. Lucky we got such a high score before our man got sent off.
That stood to you then, because you were defending quite a lot after that.
Yeah, I was just defending from then on. Again, they came at us hard, and we just had to weather the storm and keep the goals out. And luckily we kept enough out to win in the end.
It was a real championship match, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, a good hard game. Just what we need, another hard game. Like Adnaree again, it was a good tough game, and just looking forward to the final now.
Okay, well, it's rolling on week now. I suppose players enjoy that.
Oh yeah, it's the best way to have it. You can't overthink things. Just game by game each week.
And you avoided a dreaded replay, which is marginally better than a defeat, or a good bit better than a defeat, but at least you have the time for next weekend now.
Yeah, we have the time to get the recovery in and just work hard and look and see who we're playing in the final.
Okay, great, Jason. We'll know that in an hour's time or so. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Cheers, that's Jason. We'll bring Gerald back in very quickly again too, before we go back up to our Gerald Flanagan is, no, he's busy. We'll let you do your work. Gerald Stikavim for the Mayo News. So back to Edwin in the commentary tower. Edwin, who is joined by Jimmy, Brendan and Colm there as well. So back to you, Edwin.
Back here now with Brendan from a Kiltimagh perspective and our analyst Jimmy Lyons. Brendan, a chance now to look forward to a county final, and I'm sure after last year, and I know you said it at the outset, you feel you never showed up in last year's final against Westport. That'll be foremost in the minds now in terms of focus in the minds for 7 days' time in McHale Park.
Yeah, 7 days' time is a big week ahead of us. We didn't show up, as you said, last year against a very strong Westport team. Whether it's Island 80 or Moy Davis we meet next Sunday or next Saturday, whenever the game is fixed for, we'll be ready. We really want to make amends for last year. It was a hard pill to take last year. We were a much better team than we showed that day, and we want to make sure everyone knows that after next weekend.
And Jimmy, from looking at the point of the game from a neutral perspective, Kiltimagh very purposeful in their display and what they did, and they knew what they were about.
Yeah, they're very well drilled, well organised, and you could see very much there in the second half where Louisburgh needed to get something in the first 5 or 10 minutes, and Kiltimagh just choked the life out of them really. They forced them to go long. The first 4 or 5 balls from Louisburgh went long, and Kiltimagh just snapped them up inside. So it didn't really put them at a disadvantage going down the man, because the way they play, their half forwards drop back, all the half forwards actually, 2 wing forwards but centre forward as well. So it was just a continuation of what they were doing in the first half, except that one man short up front, but it didn't make any difference really. And they countered then on the break. They got 2 or 3 scores that kept Louisburgh at arm's length, and when Louisburgh got the goal eventually, it was just too late.
And the first half display, they made the most of the space inside for a full forward line that could do serious damage.
Very impressive. It was textbook stuff in terms of how to play that sort of a game. They isolated 1 or 2 men inside. It wasn't always the same 2 players. They rotated, and then good long ball coming from around the middle of the field. In particular, as I mentioned at half-time, Brian Gallagher, he had some great ball in, but he also did some very good defensive work, as they all did. No, they're very well drilled, but they have a very experienced management team behind them. You have Pam McNicholas and Johnny Millie, people like that. They're in the game a long time. They've seen everything. They kept calm on the sideline, and they saw the game out very comfortably in the end.
And they don't know their opponents yet. The second semi-final between Bohol and Moy Davids and Island 80 about to be played, but it'll take a good team to beat them.
It'll take a very good team. You know, this isn't just a one-off result. We see how well they've been doing in the second division of the league. They've only lost 1 game. They're going to be in Division 1 next year. It's been a long road for them back from last year, and it's easy to say, well, they set their minds on this and they were going to come back, but on the night of a defeat like last year, I'm sure they were feeling very, very down, but they have knuckled down, regrouped very well, and come out a better side, I would say, a more consistent team, and they've shown that in the league, and they're very worthy finalists. Whoever they beat in the final, they're going to be very, very hard to break down.
I think this year that we hadn't last year, we have a very strong bench this year. The lads we were bringing on really improved our team. And Jimmy, you mentioned as well our selectors and manager Pat. 20 years ago this year we were playing in a county senior final, and it was a similar lads on the sideline. So they bring a lot of experience to the table, and we've a lot of experience on the field as well. You know, the likes of Kieran Charlton, Ronan Millie, Liam Lydon, David Lydon, Conor Heenan, Damien Gallagher. You know, lads who played in Croke Park, who have represented our club for the last 10 years at senior level. So yeah, you're right. It'll be whoever we meet, whether it be Island 80 or Moy Davids, it'll take a good team to beat us. But we'll be getting ready this week for a big battle. Hopefully the wind will ease down by next week. But yeah, it was the 10 minutes in the first half, I think, really set our stall out there and gave us an advantage that Louisburgh just weren't able to claw back into in the second half.
And a chance now to watch the second semi-final, Brendan. I'm sure Kilchama will be trying to get ready as quick as they can and get back out to see who their potential opponents will be.
Yeah, it's great to be still interested in the second match today and not going home to our tail between our legs. That we're looking at Moy Davids and Island 80. Obviously we know Moy Davids inside out with our real local rivals. That'll be some derby final next weekend if it's Moy Davids. But and Island 80 probably a team we don't know as well. But whoever it is, will be giving it our all next weekend.
Perfect. I'll hand you back to Liam now.
Thank you very much, Edwin, and thanks to Brendan and to Colm as well. Brendan, we'll see him again next weekend, presumably. Victory in the intermediate semi-final, so he'll be ready for the final now.
Hopefully it'll be a better result than the last year when I was commentating.
Indeed. And thanks to Colm as well, Colm Clark from Louisburgh. He's had better days as well. The second game is in the offing. We have both teams out on the field. We have Island 80, of course, in the green and white. They're a bit more green now than they used to have, Jimmy. They were very white once upon a time, but they're a bit more green these days.
Yeah, they've a bit of black there as well and a white stripe, yeah. Looking very well, as are Moy Davids down here on the other side.
Yeah, Moy Davids, one of the seem to be an up-and-coming team for a while in Mayo, I suppose. They've produced a lot of good young footballers. As you said, they won a 21 final before they won a minor final with a lot of the same players. But that can happen. Sometimes players play their best at 18 and don't improve at 19 and 20.
The thing about the under 21 grade, you have players coming on to it at 17 and 18, and they're playing with more experienced 19, 20 and 21 year olds, and they can shine at that age, as we found ourselves in Ahmore. So, yeah, Moy Davids would be looking to get into a final against their neighbours, Kilchama. As Brendan was saying there, these players, Moy Davids and Kilchama, of course, know each other very well. If they're playing Island 80, it will be a different kettle of fish. They would have played them in the league. It's getting extremely windy here now at this stage. It's bound to have an effect on the game. This wind is getting very strong.
Yeah, Hurricane Ophelia has made an earlier visit with them than was planned, or that if this is the tail end of it, or what the tail end of it is going to be like, I'm not looking forward to it, but it is very, very wild here in James Stephens Park now, blowing right across the field, Jimmy, which is it's hard to hootle favour, really.
Well, judging by the first game, it will favour the team playing into the town end. As I said, most players are right-footed. Favours players kicking with the right foot when the wind coming off the right shoulder.
But how Moy Davids, Brian Reap is of course there at 14. He's a player you'd know well.
Yeah, Brian's a very talented player. He's been in and around Mayo Minor under 21 teams. Of course, he's an under 21 medal winner a couple of years ago. He was in the Mayo senior panel for a while. I know he was in America for the summer, but he's been back and he's in top form. He scored 6 points last Sunday. But he's not the only top player they have. They have some very good young forwards there. Alan Burke, Brian Heenahan, all very creative players. So they play a really good style of football. And as we saw there in the first half, even though the conditions are difficult, it's not impossible to play good football. There's some very good football played in that game.
It's about control really now, isn't it?
Well, that's it, exactly. And good footballers should come to the fore. It is a test. Conditions, be they wet and windy or whatever, they're always a test of a good player. Can he retain control, keep possession, get the ball to a teammate, and hopefully work a score?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, Jay. And the testing conditions will certainly bring out the best in some players, and maybe will test other players beyond what they'd be comfortable with.
Yeah. Island 80, of course, coming into this final off a very good display against Burshul in the quarter-final. They built up a good lead in the first half, scored 113, a very big score to put up, and even when Burshul came at them in the second half, they weathered that storm and they were to push on again and won comfortably in the end. A 6-point victory against a very hardened and seasoned Burshul team that have been thereabouts in intermediate championship for the last 6 or 7 years. Never quite made the breakthrough, but are always a formidable opponent. So they will have a lot of confidence gained from that.
Okay, well, I'm going to bring in Cormac Moran and Gary Rowan now, the Island 80 and Moy Davids commentators respectively. So in you come, gentlemen, and you might give us a bit of breeze break here as well too. Cormac, we'll get you to face out to the field now actually. With the breeze at our back, Gary. You've had the breeze at the back. You're back a few times, but nothing quite like this. I'd say.
This up here, Liam. No, it's getting very wild now. I don't think it was this wild for the first game, so it will have an impact on the game. You know, it'll change. Moy Davids play a sort of a running game, so it mightn't affect them too much. They like to carry the ball from defence, but it definitely will have an effect on the game.
Yeah, and I see Brian Reap lining up for a free here. Let's just see what happens that one.
Off to the left, yeah, that's what's happening. It's blown down towards the town goal into the far corner, so it's definitely going to have an effect on point scoring from distance. So
yeah. Okay, Cormac, how are your lads fixed?
Yeah, how are you doing? We're fixed pretty well. We're well prepared. Training's gone well during the week. Nothing too hard. We'd be quietly confident. Just a very good Bohol Moy Davids team. They're a good running side, good football inside. Star player, of course, Brian Reap. Everyone's talking about Brian's in great form. But we'd be a more balanced side. We wouldn't be relying on one individual as such. We were very much a team effort, and we'd be happy enough going into the game how we're fixed.
Can you see your lads doing a man marking job on Brian Reap? Someone like Ollie Feeney maybe?
I don't think
Ollie the legs.
Ollie will play I think as an orthodox full back. That's his game. He's very strong physically around the box. I think that's his game. Somebody else might take up the challenge of Brian Reap. We might just see how it goes. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to judge it from here, especially with the wind is blowing. The wind is going to have a huge impact in this game. So whatever impact Brian Reap is going to have on the game, he'll have to get in near goal. So how they manage that remains to be seen.
Brian Reap, of course, Gary, a Mayo senior panellist last year. I think he spent some of the summer in America this year. I think, is that right?
He did, surely, Liam. He went to the summer early on. I think he spoke to Stephen Rochford, and I don't know, was he in the pans for the first 30 players? So he decided to go, and a couple of players from Moy Davids went to America for the summer, but they only missed 2 or 3 games. So we have them all back now, which is a good asset to us. Do you know, Brian should be to the fore today. You'd be hoping.
Gary, people remember you, of course, in the Mayo colours. You seem to play forever. Is it true you're not retired yet?
Just
how glad?
Yeah, 3 games I've played this year now, so it's winding down gradually. We're in the
county final.
The Junior B county final next Friday night, I think, in Bacon. So that'll be the last hurrah, as they say.
Who are your opponents in that?
They're Kilmovee
Shamrock.
So they'll be strong. We're a mixture of about 4 over 40s and
a few older lads.
Yeah, I was good to myself there, and a few younger fellas, few leaving certs as well. So it's a good mixture.
What was the old saying? You need a few old lads. You need a student to take the freeze. Have you one of those?
We have. Surely Pat Clark, he's 44 or 45, so he's a good student.
Is Pat still learning a bit?
He's still learning the trade, yeah. So he is. He actually played in goals in the semi-final last Friday night at Bacon.
Yeah, Pat wouldn't be shy about Junior B now, I'd say.
Definitely not, and he's keeping himself in great shape. He's cycling the length and breadth of the county at the minute, so he's keeping himself in great shape.
Is there not a rule against that?
I don't think so, not for fellas that are over 40. I don't think there's any rule for that.
You were playing the forwards a bit as well. I've seen you play up front, full forward, I think, for Moy Davids a few times. Where are you playing for the Junior Bs?
I'm playing full forward. It's a bit easier than back in the backs when you're coming up against young fellas, do you know, so I get a chance up there to shine with Pat.
No bother to you. Cormac, Island 80, of course, a team with potential, as we've been saying, and all of that. You'd like to get to a final, I'd say. You know, you didn't get out of the group for a few years there. You'd like to get to a final now.
Yeah. We had a very good win last weekend over Burrishoole, a dogged Burrishoole side that beat us in the quarter-final last year, and we wanted to make amends for that. So we've done that. But I mean, this Island 80 team is full of good resolve. They're not going to give up the Batleasy today, but even if they go behind, I wouldn't give up on them with the final minutes, because they're very determined to do well. They're very well prepared by Declan Conley, Kieran Gibbons and Mick Toland, Jonathan Fitzgerald. They've done an excellent job on them. Very close-knit bunch of lads, like from a small community, and they'll be fighting dogged for each other. There was nothing easy given out there by Island 80 today, and I think people will be foolish to write them off. I know Moy Davids will be hot favourites here today, but we'll still give it a good lash.
Okay, is on Taoiseach or ear Taoiseach Ida Kinney here?
I'm sure on Taoiseach he'll be very surprised if he's not. He misses very few Island 80 games, and if he has missed it today, it'll be a very good reason for it. He's a great supporter of the club, and he missed out very much. He comes to our underage presentations every year. Very normal, very ordinary guy. He's amongst us. There's no airs or graces about him. Himself and Fanula, wonderful people, and his 2 sons, Ferdy and Nisha, play big football when they're available. And you know, we all know him very well. We're all very, very fond of him. Apart from the political side of things, he's very well liked in the parish anyway. You know.
I think you're sounding like a man from the other side, are you?
No,
we won't go there. But anyway, yeah, no, when you said apart from the political side, the subs are making their way off the field. In case you've just joined us, it is very, very breezy. It's blowing right across the field, as you're watching now, right through the referee and linesman and umpire group in the middle of the field, across to the far side in the stand. And it is very wild and windy. It will make football very, very difficult. And as we watch Brian Reap kick a free in the warm-up a few minutes ago, it tailed off. It was a very true strike. It just tailed off at the last minute and went left and wide. He's kicking one now as well in the warm-up. He got through that one better, Gary. You'll be happy with that one if he gets a few of those.
If he gets a few of them today, we'll be all right. But it'll go to be difficult taking points from long range. You know, they'll have to work the ball in. I see an Island lad taking a free there. He slipped as well. So the pitch will be greasy after the first game as well. You know.
Okay, this weekend on MayoGATV.com, if you like and share a post on Facebook in the last few days, you'll see it there. You get in a draw for a Cords We Owe ticket, a coveted Cords We Owe ticket, and we also have a draw among those who subscribe to the channel this weekend. We are in Elvery's McHale Park tomorrow for the senior semi-finals between the county champions Castlebar Mitchells and Gary Moore from South Mayo, and in the second game the team who have come not quite from nowhere but have caught a lot of people by surprise the way they defeated Brafey last weekend, that's Claremorris, and they take on Ballintubber, who needed 2 bites of the cherry to see off a very determined and able Hollymount Carramore team during the week. So very big day tomorrow, Mayo Club football, senior championship semi-finals. A lot of talk, it'll be a Castlebar Ballintubber final again, but there are 2 South Mayo teams there who I am sure will have something to say about that tomorrow, and they will hope to upset at least one of the apple carts, if not both, in Elvery's McHale Park tomorrow. Our coverage I think starts at 12:40. The first game is 1 o'clock I think, and our coverage will start here at MayoGATV.com at 12:40. Kevin Kennelly, the referee, is in the middle of the field, and he will be keeping a close eye on proceedings here today. The teams now taking their positions, and it is there's a change in the Dylan Gallagher's in. Yeah. Dylan Gallagher's in the defence for Island AD, Cormac.
Yeah, Dylan Gallagher be a good tackler, a good man for tracking back. Very strong, physical lad. Good head and shoulders, good footballer. Would be suited to today's conditions now, where the strong hands and strong upper body are needed.
Okay, and we'll now have the playing of our own Naveen, the national anthem. Take it out, just use this one. Well, one gentleman in the crowd gave a very lusty rendition, and we think that Danny McGowan is the one player missing out. They have dropped Cormac Gordon back, maybe just for the throw-in as well. He's a long-term. Danny McGowan has gone to 11. We'll get Cormac to check that in a couple of moments. We'll watch the throw-in first of all. Peter Collins is there, and Brian Reap is out at 11. He's wearing 14, but at 11 for Moy Davitt. Straight away a free for Island AD, and they have Cormac Gordon started at centre half forward. As I said, he's a long time midfield pairing with Peter Collins, and a very good understanding they have as well. Donagh Joyce is in there and does well. Donagh Joyce gets a nice pick on it. The Island AD centre forward is Danny McGowan. McGowan kicks on the fall, and that's a point. I think it was McGowan or Gallagher. McGowan, I think.
Yeah, McGowan scored it, and Martin Gallagher didn't start today. So
Martin Gallagher is the one who misses out, and Dylan Gallagher is in. Are they relations?
No, different family.
Okay, 1 point to no score. Moy Davitt's first blood to them. A point for Island AD. First blood for them. A point for Danny McGowan. Moy Davitt's now trying to work something. It's Pádraig Ruane. Heavy tackling by Gordon, and well won by Cormac Gordon. and they recycle it well. Peter Collins in the middle of the field, that's good football to McGowan, the point scorer. Long ball inside for Donald Joyce, the Moy Davids defence, who have dropped Paul Langan back, it seems, Gary.
Yeah, Paul Langan is acting as a sweeper. He done the same against Park the last day and attacks from deep.
Pádraig Ruane. Sorry, it's Noel Regan, I should say. James Mulderrig, a long time servant of Moy Davids, inside towards Brian Reap. Good quick pop, but just didn't connect. And Niall McCormack was able to take it away from Dara Burke there. And so Moy Davids putting on the pressure. It's a free this time for Moy Davids. They stripped Brendan Gibbons of the ball, and it's a free for Moy Davids. Good work there by Moy Davids, Gary.
Yes, good work by Noel Regan and Alan Burke. They swallowed up the Island 80 attacker and turned them over.
Yeah, it is not quite a hurricane, but it's as close to one as we'll have for a while here, and there's apparently bigger and better coming. Here comes big James Mulderrig. Mulderrig gets through one tackle through his midfield, or his colleague, but Ollie Feeney intervened, and Ollie gets it away to Dylan Gallagher, and good defensive work there by Island 80.
Yeah, I mean we're coming into the game where we're holding our own at the moment. The lads don't seem to be anywhere nervous, right? They seem very comfortable on the ball. That's a good sign for Island 80, because sometimes when you haven't played in the final for a number of years, nerves can get into younger.
Semi-final, Cormac, don't get ahead of yourself here.
But hopefully we'll be final next week. But I like the way Island 80 are set up at the moment. They're looking strong on the ball and they're not fazed by the occasion. That's a good sign.
Yeah, and right now Ollie Feeney is the sweeper. He is a vastly experienced player, Mayo underage player and Mayo junior player, and has had a number of runs with Mayo seniors as well. This is Danny McGowan standing over this one for Island 80, and Danny gets it lovely, beautiful left-footed kick, never a doubt. That's 2 points for Island 80. Moy Davids a point. Jimmy Lyons, you're just back from ground level. Do you think that breeze is favouring Island 80? There's a bad kick out, and they're coming through, and this is Donald Joyce. Great save by the keeper. They come again. Brendan Gibbons goes to ground, but Moy Davids come clear. That was a great chance, a gift wrap chance really for Island 80 when the keeper Christopher McGlynn didn't get it to his man. What happened there, Gary?
I didn't actually see it, Liam. He was going for the short kick out and it went straight to the Island 80 attacker. Probably should have scored.
Definitely a gift chance there given by the keeper to the Mayo forwards. Joyce should have slapped it over the bar on the conditions, but he went for the bag. He didn't get it, but look at Davids as well.
Moy Davids trying to work something now to Mark Regan to Brian Reap, and Brian Reap expertly in a tight enough angle pops it over.
Yeah, Moy Davids' first score of the game, a good move, ball in from Brian Reap into Brian Heenan, took on his man and came outside to Brian Reap again and shot it over the bar from close.
Yep, that's 2 points to 1. Island 82, Moy Davids 1. Another short one. Island 80, this is big Peter Collins. Ollie Feeney. Ollie gets a late tackle from Brian Reap. Kevin Kennelly waves it on. I think he understood there was something in it, but that it was better to let Island 80 progress. And Moy Davids break up this one as well. And this is Noel Regan, and he gives it to Dara Quinn. Anthony Jordan, a man who has done co-commentary. Oh, Peter Collins came. It looked like he had him lined up. Ollie had him lined up. And it was the centre forward, Sean Kelly, who won't forget that one in a hurry. Peter Collins came a little bit earlier, Gary. It looked like it was going to be good night Vienna.
It did to Pádraig Ruane. Pádraig just about glided past him, but I think Ollie made up for it with the tackle on Sean Kelly. Sean, remember that one.
So yes, it wasn't particularly dirty now, in fairness to Ollie. It was, what could he do really, I suppose?
Physical. Sean was on the run and Ollie met him with a good hard shoulder, maybe not shoulder to shoulder, but it wouldn't be Ollie's first one. So
he wasn't meant to wave him through, I suppose.
Definitely not. You have to stand your ground.
Okay, the ball is brought in perhaps for descent. It's now in kickable range for Brian Reap. And Jimmy Lyons was making the point earlier on that indiscipline cost Kilchamaugh a little bit in the first half of their game, and this one has made what was a tricky kick for Brian Reap into something he will fancy a lot more. Let's see how he goes. Yes, never in doubt. He has levelled the scores, 2 points apiece. Good recovery from Moy Davids.
Yeah, good recovery. They're taking them a bit of time to get into the game, but they're pressurising the Island 80 kick out now, and hopefully they'll get a few more turnovers.
Yep, all about turnovers in this kind of a day. The potential for error, particularly when coming out of your own defence like Island 80 are now, is just so high. The breeze is very, very strong, and that's good play from Island 80 to find Dylan Gallagher. They have created good space. Dylan Gallagher, the outlet on this occasion. There's a caller inside, but Dylan is going it alone. Dylan kicks it and now puts it across towards Donald Joyce, but that's going to carry, and that's the problem today, Cormac. It'll carry.
Yeah, carrying ball too far, and wild balls into the corner like that. It's very hard for forward to pick them up overhead because the ball is moving with the wind. But
Dylan Gallagher did well though to make the space.
Did well to make the space. Yeah, it was an excellent ball from the back to the forward. But unfortunately, he didn't read what Donald Joyce was doing in the corner. But wasted chance really.
Yep, good chance there for Island 80, and here comes their centre back Mark Regan up the field. He's made a couple of runs now, Mark Regan. James Mulderrick alongside, he has Porrick Ruan, but goes inside, but a little bit big, and the left corner forward Brian Heenahan, regular scorer of course for Moy Davits. And Island 80 again stuff it out. They're doing quite well back there, Island 80. They look comfortable, Peter Collins, and they're very committed to their possession game, Island 80. Very committed to the short passing. The modern day style is very much what they're about here. Long ball into Donald Joyce. Now this is better for him. He's a tidy attacker inside to Brendan Gibbons, I think it is. Or have I got those two mixed up? This is Brendan Gibbons anyway. Brendan Gibbons now. Brendan, will he go for the shot? Yes, he does. Good point from Brendan Gibbons.
Yeah, that's an excellent score. The early ball into Dara Joyce there is fantastic, and Brendan Gibbons made the best of the pass he got from his great score against in the conditions. Fantastic.
Well worked score from Island 80. They are leading 3 points to 2, and they are doing the full court press on Moy Davits. Kickouts. Moy Davits get clear this time. Dara Quinn. And long ball inside towards the danger man Reap. Brian Reap pops it inside to Anthony Jordan. Jordan has Reap on the run, and Reap is told. Lovely turn from Reap. Referee says there's nothing in it. He gestures, nothing in that. It was a beautiful pirouette from Brian Reap. Just couldn't get the foot to it, Gary.
No, he couldn't. It was a great move from Anthony Jordan into Brian, and Brian back to Anthony, and he put Brian in then, but I suppose the space was tight. There wasn't a lot Brian could do. He tried to pirouette and shoot, but it just ran away from him.
It was clever. It was very clever. This is Brendan Gibbons. This is Brendan Gibbons on the run, and Gibbons is making huge ground. He's still going. Puts it across. Oh! Beautiful move by Island 80. Donald Joyce got the point. Possibility of a goal. Maybe he was thinking about a bit of a chip, but there was a goal chance on maybe.
There was a half chance there, right, yeah, but I think he was happy enough to take the point this time in the game, especially after missing one earlier on. Maybe he had a little doubt in his head, but I have to say, brilliant move by Island 80. Brendan Gibbons is on form. David having problems with Brendan Gibbons. I think he's very good so far.
Yeah, Brendan Gibbons has been very dangerous. I may have been guilty of mixing him up with his corner forward colleague. Meanwhile, here come Moy Davits again from Oisin McHugh through to Sean Kelly, inside to Porrick Ruan, who finishes, and that's a good reply. Jimmy Lyons, in the conditions, we're getting a good game.
Excellent game, maintained. Teams working from the back, going short for the kick out because of the windy conditions, and moving it through the lines very well. We've seen 4 or 5 excellent scores. Island 80 were very unlucky not to get a goal there. I think he was trying to chip the goal, it just went over the bar. It was a chance.
Okay, well, both teams have adapted really well to the conditions, playing in a controlled manner despite the difficulties, and it's a very entertaining game. This is Danny McGowan. We're moving it well. Ollie is on a run. Doesn't bring the ball with him though, Ollie. And he gets it back though, and inside to Brendan Gibbons. Gibbons coming through. He's been so dangerous, and another great save and gather by Christopher McGlynn. Really good play by Christopher McGlynn. He has been exceptional. He has made 2 great saves so far, and he may have had 1 or 2 difficulties with kickouts, Gary, but he's kept you in the game there.
Yeah, he's kept us in the game. He's a great asset to the club. He came to the club about 2 years ago and has been a great asset. He came from Donegal. Has been a great asset to us in his shot stopping and his kickouts.
Good Donegal name. I wonder if it's Anthony DeFrank, the cornerback.
I don't know. No, he's married. He came into the Foxford area, married into the Foxford area. So
Recruitment policy is going well around the banks of the Moy. Now, can Cormac Gordon? Oh, lovely kick from Cormac Gordon, and that's really well finished. We've seen him do that a lot in the Island 80 colours.
Yeah, Cormac Gordon he's a very fit man, but very great runner with the ball, great ball carrier. That was an excellent score in the conditions. I mean, what a shot to take on this time of the game. Excellent.
I saw him in a league game last year, Cormac Gordon, and when everybody else had tired, he was still going strong. Is he a marathon runner as well or something? Or he does stuff.
Just in a match, naturally very, very fit young fella. He looks after himself extremely well, and very, very focused in his football. He loves what he does. He's brilliant for running forward. Like, you might have to keep letting him run like that. They're going to have problems with him.
Okay, 5 points to 3. Island 80, the leaders so far in this Egan Jewellers Mayo Intermediate Championship semi-final here at James Stephens Park in Ballina. And the hot favourites, Moy Davits, 2 points adrift, but it's a game that is very closely contested and a very high standard, as we've said, considering the conditions, which may not be immediately obvious to you there, but we have a gale blowing across the field. Free out from Moy Davits. Dylan Gallagher gets a reminder there from Dara Quinn. And Dara takes the free short. Moy Davits working it through the middle. Mark Regan taking their time. Regan is a bit of a runner with the ball. He likes to drop the shoulder and go. This time it didn't work though. He gave it short and he ended up fouling big Peter Collins, and Kevin Kennelly is going to talk to him. Yellow or black, Gary?
It'll be a tight one. Hopefully it's a yellow, because I think he's an important asset to our team. Mark, he was missing for the semi-final again, Park, but he's a good runner on the ball normally. But I think the windy conditions again, the hand passing, even the hand passing is going astray with the wind. They're not allowing for the wind, you know. So
yep. Yellow card for Mark Regan. This is Peter Collins. Danny McGowan, first point scorer. Cormac Gordon in towards the two danger men in the corner. Oh, lovely touchdown there, and Shamie Lally profited. High ball across. There's an Island 80 man coming across, and it's just so hard to judge the dropping ball. It seemed to me that Moy Davits man misjudged it by 3 or 4 yards there, Gary. Well, the way it dropped.
Yeah, Porrick seemed to get it at the second attempt. He's under pressure now, trying to carry it out. He should have got a free there possibly, but given over carrying.
Yeah, it was good work by Island 80. They have put pressure on both on kickouts and in general play. And Porrick Ruan, any relation, Gary?
Cousin, first cousin, yeah.
Very good, and he just couldn't get clear on that occasion, and it's 5 points to 3 and a chance for Island 80 to make it 6.
Yeah, Dara Joyce will take this on. I'm sure Dara would fancy his chance to put that over the bar. He's been consistent for us in free taking all year.
There he goes, that's good from him, and that makes it 6-3 as we said, and Island 80 will be very happy with that position. Jimmy Lyons.
Yeah, they've moved very sweetly into a 3-point lead. Despite the wind, they're using the ball very well. They're moving it from side to side, creating opportunities, stretching the Moy Davits defence, and they're also working extremely hard, as we can see here. They're putting pressure on Moy Davits.
Okay. Again, Moy Davits in control. It's Dara Joyce playing left corner forward for Island 80. It's Donna in the programme, but it's Dara Joyce. We're assured by Cormac Gordon. I've seen him play a few times, so I should have been able to pick him there, and here he is. And again, another nice palm down by Island 80. They know what they're about, and then this happens. Yeah. Moy Davits struggling to impose themselves on the game, struggling to get a foothold, and seem to be breaking down around the middle. This time looks a bit better. Big James Mulderrick now. James Mulderrick to the corner to Brian Heenahan. But well, great tussle, a fantastic tussle there. Ollie comes in and tidies up after the tussle, and Island 80 come clear again. Inside to Danny McGowan. Danny left-footed across the goal. There's a defender struggling to hold his footing there. Back to Brendan Gibbons. Brendan fist passes, and from distance, with a bit of a breeze behind him, and a lot of a breeze behind him, another good score. Cormac, this is looking good.
It is looking good. I mean, that's very tenacious tackling in the corner back there by Thomas Gibbons. Tidied up by Ali Feeney, brought the ball forward, and a lovely score it again by Brendan Gibbons. Did the sensible thing, fisted over the bar. We're doing nicely.
Okay, 7 points to 3.
Dara Quinn is coming off, seems to be carrying a knock. He's coming off from cornerback. Sean Mulroy, number 20, is in for Moy Davits.
Okay, a big man gone off there. He is limping going off. They go short again with the kick out, and Moydavis trying to work something again. This is Anthony Jordan fouled. Already into the final, of course, Kilchma victors over Louisburg in a physical encounter here earlier on at James Stephens Park, Ballina. And a word of commendation to the local club, who've been great hosts here from AOG ATV and other members of the media, I'm sure too. I saw Ger Flanagan earlier on from the Mayo News down there. We had a word with him. And this is the capital of football in North Mayo, they'll tell us, although I'm sure out across Malina way they might query that. Here come Moydavis. Back to James Mulderrick. Trying to sell dummies. Good pressure from Island 80. Oh, beautiful finish from Oisín McHugh, very assured.
Lovely kick from Oisín. He's a lovely striker. The ball, Oisín, off the hand or off the ground, and as he came into the team against Park the last day and kept his position for today, even though Mark Regan came back centre back, he has kept his position today.
Yep, it's 7 points to 4. Island 80 against the warm favourites, Bahola Moydavis. Good work out of defence by Niall McCormack. Now Tom Gibbons, long one in. Dara Joyce is marauding inside. The keeper, Christopher McGlynn, can let that one roll. Jimmy, that's the problem any lengthy delivery can take.
Exactly, and it's the first time really that Island 80 have done that. They've worked the ball short and wait for the overlap to emerge and for the spearman to come onto the ball. So
consistent with their style so far.
No, they're getting much more from the short game. As you see the slow build up from the back, and then they move quickly through midfield. Going long again here now, and it's worked here. Of course.
In a reverse kind of a way. Danny McGowan soloed right and kicks left and travels but drops short. And what you have to be aware of, that he took that kick, he was kicking across into the breeze. The breeze is blowing right across the field, so kicking from where we're looking now, from where our camera angle is, that's got a great breeze behind it, but kicking across into it is kicking into that gale, and that certainly affected Danny McGowan there. Dylan Gallagher putting on big pressure for Island 80. Moydavis working it well. James Mulderrick, he's been heavily involved in the game so far. Into Brian Reep. We haven't seen a huge amount of him apart from his early burst. Not much ball coming in, and again Ollie Feeney putting on pressure, but Moydavis, it was Sean Kelly I think who did the work. He is judged to have overcarried it, and Dylan Gallagher plays it short to Shamie Lally. Gallagher back to Danny McGowan. Danny McGowan soloing through, getting onto that left foot angle, and again he drops it short. Danny's been very involved, Cormac, but not getting the return.
He should really have slammed that over the black spot. This time of drinking a ball over a bar in a day like today should be rammed off from the outside of the foot. Island 80 are doing well, but they've wasted a couple of chances there. I find that a little bit worrying. Davis will have a purple patch. We should really be further ahead.
Okay, Dylan Gallagher, he's been a key man so far. This is Johnny, a chance to redeem, but no, it goes right and it goes wide, and that's very frustrating for him. Hello to Ted Moylett watching in Island 80. Hope you're enjoying the game. It's a very, very good game. Danny McGowan, Jimmy, maybe forcing it a bit now.
He is, but again, he's left-footed. He's kicking across into the wind, and he overcooked that one actually. He overcompensated that time, and it went wide on the right-hand side. But he's dropped too short, which were ill-judged kicks in the conditions. Again, I can't really see why Island 80 have changed from what was working for them early on.
So keep working it through the lines.
Absolutely, in these conditions, that if anything, if a kick goes even slightly awry, leaving the foot, it can be 5 yards wrong by the time it's at its intended target.
Yep. Okay, it's a man down injured for Island 80 is Anthony Jordan, and a chance for Moydavis, and a chance for Gary to, I suppose, run the rule. What do you feel, Gary? You haven't got going really.
No, we haven't started that. We started all right, but we seem to have lost our way a bit now. We're having difficulty with Island 80. They seem to be coming through the middle an awful lot, working the ball through the hand, although the last few they've kicked, but when they work it through the hand, there seems to be a lot of space in our half back line, and there seems to be a big gap there, and they're getting the scores out of that. But we're not holding the ball good enough as we had done in other games. I don't know, is it the conditions or maybe a slight nerves by some of the lads, maybe. It's our first county semi-final, so that's possibly why they're a bit anxious,
Okay, I see the crestfallen Louisburgh players making their way away from the venue here at the moment, or away from the dressing room area anyway. They were beaten by Kilchmaw earlier, and the winners of this game will play Kilchmaw in the final, which we presume will be next weekend. But at this time of the year, of course, fixtures can be a moving feast. Here are Island Eddie again. Lovely ball in from Danny McGowan, but again it over carries. And on another day, Jimmy, that would have been beautiful, but today is not another day.
Absolutely, it's true. It's a low percentage pass. He was trying to get off the outside of his boot, but didn't catch it right. So that's 4 attacks in a row I've counted now with they've wasted possession.
And underdogs, I suppose, know the value of taking their chances, because we have to expect Moy Davits will get a purple patch as well. They're a very talented side who have been knocking around for quite a while. Brian Reap, far out from goal, trying to work something inside to Alan Burke. Back to Reap. Reap, he tried to pick out a man in the corner, but it dropped short, and Ollie gathered it. Ollie Feeney. Danny McGowan again. This time gives the fisted pass back beautifully to Shamie Lally. Lovely weighted pass inside towards Brendan Gibbons, but the attack broken up on this occasion by Sean Mulroy, the substitute, and Sean Kelly now 1-on-1 with Dermot Gibbons. Kelly gets around him. Good work by Kelly. Ollie Feeney comes next. He met him earlier on. Referee says he threw it, and Ollie is trying to dispossess Oisin McHugh. Referee brings the ball forward. Oisin didn't let go of it quickly enough. 7 points to 4. The quality has diminished a little bit. The passing, Jimmy, not going as well as it was. The game has dipped a bit that way.
It has, yeah. It's gone a little bit frantic by both teams now. Ireland Ely have lost a little bit the composure they had early on, and Moy Davits are forcing it. And they're getting a lot of turnovers around the middle third. Again, we see a long ball going astray there. I think it was from that man again, unfortunately. Danny McGowan, which is left foot, is just not working for him at the moment.
So Island Eddie's Christopher McGlynn off his line, or Moy Davits, Bahola Moy Davits. Sean Mulroy, the substitute, gives it to Brian Reap, who has clearly moved out the field and trying to work that ball inside to James Mulderrick. They put a big man inside, obviously hoping to go route one. James just couldn't keep that one in play. Is it a route one thing they're looking at now, Gary?
Well, I don't.
Is that an option?
I don't know. Well, I don't think it's much of an option at this stage now. Whether James might be slightly injured, I don't know. They seem to have brought Brian Reap out to midfield, but again, he seemed to force it there. He'd be better putting the ball in front of goal. I don't think it's a day for kicking into the corners away from the goal, you know.
Yep. Early on, as we said, the players really adapted well to the conditions, but we're having a lot more misplaced passes. They're getting more tired now as well, of course, even though it's not even half time, but it's an energy sapping day out there. Here's Ollie Feeney to Danny McGowan. Danny presenting himself again, relentless to Dara Joyce. Dara just taken by the breeze again and left and wide. The referee is calling back Brian Reap, and he's having a word with Brian Reap. I'm not sure what that was for. Did you see it, Cormac?
No, I didn't actually see the incident there. I was watching what was going on up the field here. I think he just caught him slightly late after the ball had gone. There was nothing really malicious in it, so the ref gave him a tick.
Yeah. No entry in the book there for referee Kevin Kennelly. And Danny McGowan is down injured, and a chance for everybody to catch their breath here at James Stephens Park on MayoGATV.com. As I said earlier, tomorrow the senior semi-finals in Elvery's McHale Park in Castlebar, and we're worrying for Island Eddie, because while Danny McGowan hasn't been kicking very well, he's been dominating a lot of play, Jimmy, getting on a lot of ball.
Yeah, he certainly, you can't accuse him of hiding away after the first couple of balls went wrong for him. He's gotten a power ball, and you have to think that it will come right from eventually if he keeps working as hard as he is.
So Christopher McGlynn right out to the middle. Moy Davits, Mark Regan, Brian Heenahan, Anthony Jordan. Oh, well intercepted by Cormac Gordon. Out to Dylan Gallagher, and Dylan just couldn't get a hand to it, and they have lost some of the momentum. They may even have lost possession. Referee waves play on, and well recovered by Oisin McHugh, because they were caught flat-footed there, Moy Davits, but McHugh saved the day. Brian Heenan again. Cue to Alan Burke. In towards James Mulderrick. This is what they're thinking about. They've got him down. He's been brought down. The referee, it looks to me to be making his way to the penalty spot. Or is he going to consult? He's going to consult. The umpires have the big decision now. I'm not sure who's there. I know James Regan is there. Was he inside or was he outside? There's your answer. We have a penalty.
We have a penalty, yeah. My Davids were under pressure, I think, and for the last gasp, sort of a kick from Mushy McHugh. The wind seemed to carry the ball over the defender's head, and James was inside, and he got inside and brought down then by the defender.
Okay, we'll have the replay in a couple of moments. We're going to watch the penalty first. Brian Heenan against Noel Feeney. This is a big moment. 7-4. Goal stuck away beautifully. The sides are level. 7-1-4. Emphatic, Gary.
Yeah, Brian is a good striker of the ball. He's very good, very confident player, you know, so he'd have no fears of taking a penalty in that situation.
I think we're going to have a look at the foul. Catch. First of all, long ball in.
Yeah, got in. As I said, he got inside his man and just seemed to get into the square, and the defender tried, I suppose, rushed his tackle, tried to get around him and brought him down.
We wondered about the tactic. It has paid dividends. A goal is hugely important here today. 1-4-7. The sides are level. Mulderrick winning. He's still in there in full forward. Maybe that might give Moy Davitt something to try again before the half time. And they are playing with a bit more pep in their step now. Long ball inside. Too far. And Mulderrick is against Ollie Feeney. Two big beefy men inside. Two men a long while on the Mayo Club scene here. Mulderrick did really well there. And gets around and fouled again. And this is causing you all sorts of problems now, Cormac.
Yeah, we did expect Davids were going to hit a purple patch. They've hit the purple patch. Definitely there was a penalty. Niall McCormick got turned the wrong way. Mulderrick got inside him. The referee was right to give a penalty. And yeah, they're hitting the purple patch, but I wouldn't be too anxious yet. Early days.
Okay, 1-4-7. Brian Reap will probably try for this one. It'll be hard to just judge the flight of the breeze properly. He has got to angle it across and curl it over the bar and hope that the breeze doesn't take it and bring it right and wide. That's the big danger you would have thought here. But Reap is a deft kicker of the ball and is going for it, and there was never any doubt in his mind but that he was going for it. Puts it up there and guides it over the bar. 1-5-7 points. A big turnaround, Jimmy Lyons.
Yeah, after a period of Island dominance where they just didn't get scores on the board, they could have got into a 6 or 7 point lead, and then out of nowhere, you could say, really, Moy Davids were trying the long ball and it didn't come off the first 2 or 3 times, but eventually it did work for them. James Mulderrick, big man in there, won the ball well.
Yeah, Brendan Gibbons now for Island Eddy. They have been rocked by those scores by Moy Davids. They had made so much of the running in this first half, and if they are to retire at the interval, which is just minutes away at this stage, adrift, having done so much of the good stuff in the first half, they'll be very disappointed. Though not out of the game, and if they were told coming here today they were a point or so in it at half time, they'd be quite happy, but they could be in so much a better position. Credit really to Moy Davids for the move they made with Mulderrick. It definitely worked, and he has caused 1-1 now in there for Moy Davids in the last few moments, and another wide for Island Eddy.
Yeah, that's a costly wide, really. We could have done with that score before half time. Davids are definitely getting a stronghold on us. Mulderrick at full forward just created a bit of havoc in there. I still think there's more left in Island Eddy. We're an extremely fit Island Eddy team. This team will go down to the wire. They won't give up at the end of the game, okay?
Okay, Cormac Gibbons is persistent. He thinks they're going to stick with it, and I've no doubt they will. 1-5-7 points. Oh, good rob by Brian Heenan. That's good work. That's one that'll drives the Moy Davids fans over on that side of the pitch, Gary.
Definitely, yeah, it's a good steal by Brian. He's a good tackler, you know, and it was definitely what we need, a good turnover to get the crowd going and get the lads riled up themselves, you know. As you said, James, Mulderrick has made a move inside and is playing well. He'll keep Ollie Feeney busy in there. Ollie was attacking for a while but seems to have sat back now and seems to be gone to the orthodox full back position again. So
okay, Diarmuid Gibbons is the player who's down. There's some concern about him. They're bringing on the physio coming on, and it seems that he may not be able to continue, judging by the early signs. We are in the dying moments of this first half. and I think we might be able to see the penalty as well. No, not just yet, and we will. Yeah, they're calling for assistance. So, Diarmuid Gibbons worried to go would be a big loss.
Actually, Diarmuid Gibbons is out here, but number 5, he's standing there. Diarmuid Gibbons number 6. I can't.
Okay, so it's not Diarmuid Gibbons. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I can't see the number of the guy.
Okay, well, we'll identify him in a moment anyway, and hopefully he's not too bad. Brian Reap is over there preparing to take the free, and it's 1-5 to 7 points. Moy Davids the leaders. It looked an improbable position for much of that first half, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, that shows when you have players of the calibre that Moy Davids have. They're always capable of creating a goal chance, as they did. And some of the steam seems to have gone out of the Island Ely lads now at the moment. You can see that they're not as vibrant as they were early on. And all those misses, all those wasted attacks, really. 6 or 8 attacks there in a row where they got nothing from. Whereas early on, it seemed everything they touched was turning to a point.
Okay, Island Ely are lining up a sub.
Yeah, it looks like Peter Gordon is going to come on down here. Peter's a good lad around the middle of the field. Brother Cormac Gordon's an extremely fit young fella as well. He'll cover some ground when he comes on. We still haven't identified who's on the ground. We can't see from here because there's so many people around him. But,
okay, well, hopefully he's going to be okay. So it's a long delay here now as we hit for half time, and some of the momentum of the game been taken out of it. Hopefully this player will be okay, and that he will be recovered. But they are calling for attention. They are calling for further attention. They seem to have a stretcher there, and they will remove him from the field of play now. Peter Gordon is on, and we just need to. Everybody, I suppose, wants to get to the half-time break now. This is a real deadening feeling at the end of the first half. A player to have to go off like this, and hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, it's definitely Cormac Gordon that's down. I think he might be okay. Cormac is there. He's a durable character. I'd be very surprised for him to walk away unless it's something damaged. I think he'll resume. He's that kind of a fella. But
okay, well, he's up to his feet shakily. There was a lot of concern about him, but good to see him on his feet again. And he's not going to play, it seems, but he's not requiring the stretcher. A very generous round of applause from the supporters in the stand on the far side. And Cormac Gordon, a huge loss for Island Ely.
Yeah, Cormac will be a massive loss. He's one of the main runners in the centre of the field. He may go off for a while. I'm sure he'll want to come back on, knowing Cormac, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, let's see. There'll be a couple of minutes of extra time, injury time, at the end of this first half. Foul there on Sean Kelly. Inside towards James Mulderrick. That was from Cormac Healy. And back out to Mulderrick again. This is Anthony Jordan. Pádraig Ruane, good play from Moy Davids. Can they cap it off? Yes, they can. A really good score, well worked. Good work by James Mulderrick in particular inside. But they picked off a good one there, Gary. That'll really give them a boost going into half time.
Yeah, definitely a good score going in at half time. Conal Quinn made a 40 forward from corner back there and set up the move for Pádraig ended with a score. That's Pádraig's second point per play, but James is much more involved since he's gone in to full forward and is creating a bit of havoc in there. But I think I see a switch again. He could be out again. Oh no, he's down injured actually at the minute, but he's okay. He's okay. He's up again. He's okay. So we're doing well. We're going to go in at half time. 2 points up is a big turnaround from where we seem to be struggling.
Okay, they're still tending to Cormac Gordon over on the far side of the field. Oh, great take by Peter Collins. He has lost his midfield partner. This is Diarmuid Gibbons. Peter Gordon, Gibbons. Inside to Dara Joyce. Loose pass, but it's gathered again, and Dara drops it on the return, and it's got a little bit sloppy now from Island Edy. Moy Davids, without doubt, growing in confidence now, and they have a big overlap happening here. It is Sean Kelly who has alongside him Mark Regan inside, and kick and shot on the turn, James Mulderrick. There wasn't much conviction in the kick, Gary, and it was a chance going a begging.
No, it looked like James was trying to be too careful in the windy conditions, I think, and he had a man on the outside but elected to go for the score, but a bit too casual really.
Would they want James to kind of give it off inside rather than shoot?
I'd say it looked like that. He had the runners on each side, so I think they'd be looking for him to lay it off, although he can score himself, but I think under the conditions they'd be better to give it to the runners on the shoulder.
Okay, we're deep in injury time, as you can see, in the 7th minute after that long break for the injury to Cormac Gordon, who is sitting over on the far side on nursing his injury still, but he is up and about thankfully, and Cormac hasn't given up hope from coming back into the game. Actually, Cormac Morden here beside me, but he is certainly looking a lot better than he was looking earlier on, over in front of the, appropriately enough, the Moclair's bar sign. Former bar of Paddy Moclair, All-Ireland winner with Mayo, and the man after whom the Mayo Senior Championship Cup is presented, and hopefully we'll see Cormac a little bit later on in this game, or hopefully we'll see him back to himself soon enough. Now another injury, and is this going to necessitate a man being required to leave the field as well?
Yeah, this Brendan Gibbons taking a bit of a knock there, and he's just going to get into by John McCormick as Danny McGowan lines up for the free.
Danny lets it in. McGlynn comes off. Gary described him as a good addition to the club. You can see why. He's quite quick off his line. Gets into the play. We have half time here. It is 1 goal and 6 to 7 points. 2-point lead for Moy Davits. A very good position, as Gary said, considering where they were at. We're going to talk to Jimmy Lyons as the teams make their way off the field. Moy Davits, Jimmy, will be the happier of the two, I think.
Very much so, yeah.
On the scoreline, anyway.
Yeah, they're just 2 points up, but they appear to be in control of the game at this stage. They were, like Gary was saying, they looked a bit nervy early on. They weren't their free-flowing self that we come to expect from this group of players. A lot of ball was breaking down around the middle of the field, but you have to give credit to Pat Clark, I think, for the switch he made, putting James Mulderrick in on the edge of the square. It also released Brian Reap out to the middle of the field. He got more into the game, and Brian is very good in the ball. He's probably a bit more mobile than James, and that's the sort of day it is today. There isn't an awful lot of high ball being caught out there, so what you want around midfield is mobile players with they can give smart passes inside, good kicker of the ball, and they tried a couple of long balls first, but they weren't hitting the target. They rolled out towards the sideline, but they did get one right, and James Mulderrick was in the right place, and it came after a period of very scrappy play. I'd say it must have been 7 or 8 minutes, especially where Ilneedy just could not get the scores to build on their good early work, where they racked up 7 points very quickly, but I lost count of the number of attacks that broke down, and mainly because they changed what they were doing. They were moving the ball through the lines, given to the man on the shoulder. There was always somebody available, and then maybe they got tired, I don't know, but they tried long balls in and they just did not work, and they started getting a bit frustrated then, and a couple of wides, they missed a free. The game seems to be slipping away from them. Now the thing is, they're only 2 points behind, but today the scoring goal is definitely down at the town end, and that's where Moy Davits are playing into that in the second half. The game seems to be becoming a bit stretched. It is very tiring out there. The wind will take the energy from players, so that will suit Moy Davits. They have the players to exploit those conditions.
Okay, well there he goes. Unfortunately, it looks like it is the end of his game, alright. Cormac Gordon, great Highland footballer, very impressive player. There was a feeling initially he might have to be stretchered off. He's making his way very gingerly, it must be said, and let's hope that his injury is not too serious. An excellent club footballer here in Mayo. Jimmy, they're at half time now, Island Eddie. A chance maybe to make the point you're making. Let's get back to doing what we were doing. But as you said, the breeze, while it's across the field, is across the field going that way a bit.
There's a bit of it is slightly into the corner, so it does favour that end. They'll have to be very patient, and I just think that Moy Davids seem to have figured them out at this stage. So if Island Eady can make it a cagey game, don't make it a score for score. They want to keep the score down, take their points, get a 1 or 2 point lead, and maybe dig in then. Because if this Moy Davids team gets a run on you, they can get scores, they can create goal opportunities, which they did before the penalty. They had a couple of half chances if passes did go to hand. You would think that as the game opens up, as players get tired and the spaces emerge, that Moy Davids will get those passes to hand and they will create the goal chances. So it's an uphill task for Island Eady. It's not impossible, but the loss of Cormac Gordon, a key player at midfield, have they a player of his calibre to come on to replace him? It's very doubtful. They'll probably have to rejig the team in some way, and that will upset whatever their pre-match plans. They will have to alter them. So, yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, in a moment I'm going to bring in Cormac and Gary again. Thank you, Jimmy Lyons, our match analyst. A Hamor man, 21 county title winner for the last 2 years with the Hamor as manager of that young Hamor team, beating Clamorris and today's opponents, Beholden Moy Davids, in those two finals. Gary, a good position as we said, going in 2 up, but need to play better over the half hour than they did in the first half overall.
Definitely, Liam. We didn't get going really in that first half at all. The goal, the penalty was, I suppose, a bit of luck, but goals in a day like today can be a turning point in a game, which seemed to have happened now. We just didn't seem to, our ball handling, whether it's the wind or, as I said, nerves earlier on, our lads just didn't seem to be on the mark early on. But the more that the game went on, the more they've come into it. Cormac Gordon could be a huge loss for Island Eady if he doesn't come back on. I was at the league game earlier in the year and he was one of their biggest players that day, you know. So I think Moy Davids have to up their performance, and they definitely have to up their performance if they're thinking about a county final. You know, that sort of a performance won't be good enough. And Island Eady, I expect Island Eady to come back. They're a good footballing team. There was nothing between them the day they played in the league in Island Eady, and I expect them to come back strong in the second half.
Okay, what will the rejig be, Cormac, do you think, with Cormac Gordon gone off?
Well, what's happened in the past, I don't think they'll change the Island Eady team round too much. It'll unsettle them. Peter Gordon is going for his brother Cormac. He wouldn't be as mobile as Cormac, or as good a technical footballer as Cormac, but he's a fine young player and he'll cover an awful lot of ground as well. So it's not a huge loss to Island Eady. It is a loss, but it's not a huge loss. Moy Davids have got a bit of a stronghold at the moment. I think they're slightly ahead of us in terms of the way they're handling the ball and moving the ball up the field. Having said that, this is a very fit and durable Island Eady team. I was talking to Gary off camera earlier on, we're just saying like that's Davids won the league game by 4 points, I think it was in Island Eady, but we were missing a few players that day. So there's not that much between the teams. If Island Eady could get hit a bit of a purple patch after half time, anything could happen. But if it goes the other way, you'd have to fancy Davids. I wouldn't be giving up on them as an Island Eady man. I won't give up on them anyway. But I firmly believe we're in for a good second half, despite the conditions. You know, it's a really tough day for football out there. It's cold up here, and I was thank you for ringing me on a bad day, Liam. But
I wouldn't ring in high summer.
No, you wouldn't know. But no, it's still a great occasion. It's a good county semi-final. It's good for the sport, and it's a great representation of where the football is in Mayo. Actually, it's a good standard of football for the conditions we have.
Okay, well, we're just seeing a sample of the crowd here today. It's a day for the diehards, really, even though it's the concluding stages of the Mayo Intermediate Football Championship, a very coveted prize, particularly given the success of Mayo teams when they leave the province. We have, of course, leave the county. We have, of course, in Mayo at the moment the All-Ireland champions at intermediate level, Westport, who had a fantastic victory over Cullum Kills of Westport of Meath in Croke Park in the All-Ireland final. So winning the Mayo Intermediate Championship can be an opening to a lot of things for the victorious team. Brian Reap's role, Gary, he got isolated inside. It started pretty well, then he got isolated inside. He came out the field, and as Jimmy Lyons said, he seemed to get more into the game, and that worked overall. It took a few minutes to get the threading right on it in terms of the passing inside, but that has begun to yield some dividends. Apart from the goal in the corner, James Mulderrick stripping Ollie of the ball as well.
Yeah, well, I suppose Ollie Feeney is inside for Island Eady, would have been an experienced footballer, has played at all levels probably for Mayo, you know. So Brian Brian was finding it difficult against him, but the ball probably wasn't going in, and the quality of ball, like today, on the conditions today, the quality of the ball wasn't great. Moy Davitt's strength would have been in our full forward line really, but I see Brian Heenan has come out to the half forward line as well, because I suppose the ball wasn't going in, but we put James Mulderrick in there and got 1 or 2 long balls, and James has the strength and the guile for Ollie, you know. So Brian is working hard around the middle now, so a player of Brian's calibre should be able to slot in anywhere, you know, and add to the team no matter where he plays. I'd be looking for a big performance from him in the second half.
There'll be a lot of eyes on him, because as we've said, the breeze, while it's going across the breeze, is going that way a little bit, so a passer of the ball, a kicker of the ball might be able to get some good stuff going there.
Yeah, well, a natural footballer should be able to play on any day, you know. And I suppose we're in the west of Ireland, we should be well used to the conditions, wind and rain, you know. So
we didn't play in the Riviera growing up.
No, definitely not. But I think if this weather keeps up, we might have to transfer to the Riviera. So
if we could at all, neither side back out yet. The Moy Davitt subs kicking around. The Island 80 subs have decided that discretion is the better part of valour. Might be gone to the bar, are they?
They might be going to the bar, but Island 80 people don't like drink, so I don't expect them to be in there. But I can see Island 80 really have to play it tight in the second half. They've got to move the ball through the gears and move it up along the field. This idea of angle balls hitting, going for long distance passes on a day like today, it's a bit ludicrous really. The likes of Derek Joyce, they like a nice angle ball where they can turn and shoot, and I think you'll see more Brendan Gibbons and Danny McGowan carrying the ball into the forward line than it's kind of hit balls into the corners, because it's not suitable for today, and as we can see in the first half there, it's not successful for them either. So there's a couple of squandered chances there by Lady, which I hope they don't ruin in the second half. But you know, they're in with a shout. We won't give up on them, as I said.
How's the club going overall, Cormac?
I have to say it's gone fantastic. I've been chairman now for the last 4 years, and you know, we bought 7 acres beside the main pitch, which we've developed into a second full-size pitch, and we started ladies football last year. We started playing competitively this year, and like that's brought huge numbers into the club. The interest in the club, the amount of Island 80 people that are here today, you wouldn't have seen as many Island 80 people at a game like this time last year. But we're going the right direction. There's a lot of people behind the scenes working very hard with underage teams, as I said, with the ladies teams, and like the fruition is out there in that field today. This is the first year we've got to an intermediate semi-final. I think it's in 31 years. I was on that panel at the time. It was an awful long time ago, and I was of course very, very young then. I was only about 12.
You were a boy wonder, were you?
Boy wonder, yeah. But, I think I met you one time in the school's final too, Liam, but we won't talk about that one.
Was I a boy wonder?
Well, I don't think I was fair enough. We both played midfield for opposite teams, and there wasn't much in it on the day. We'll leave it that way.
Gary, how is the club going for you?
The club is going well at the minute. We had a bit of difficulty there 2 years ago with the flooding, which created a lot of problems for us, you know, and the club had to spend a huge amount of money again refurbishing the dressing rooms and on redraining the pitch, where they had just spent about 20,000 on the previous year, you know. So apart from that, the club is going well. We won a minor a couple of years ago and another 31, so the bulk of them now is coming into this team and integrated into this team, you know. So overall the club is going well. Numbers are tight at some age groups, but that's what happens in rural Ireland, you know.
Okay, well, both teams are back out on the field, and there's a very elaborate stretch being carried out there by the Island 80 centre-back Diarmuid Gibbons. He's good for action again, and Peter Collins is partnered at midfield here, Danny McGowan, who operated out around there in the first half as well, and Moy Davitt's returning James Mulderrick to that area, and we're almost ready to go. Kevin Kennelly from Hollymount Carramore, the referee, just watching that everybody's in position, and 2 points between the teams. It's nothing, of course. Ball pops up eventually. An Island 80 hand gets onto it and can control it. That was Paul Ruan, but it didn't come to anything, and a long ball from Moy Davitt, well parried down, and this is Diarmuid Gibbons inside to full forward Johnny Concannon, trying to get Brendan Gibbons into the game, but it wasn't very controlled there, and Moy Davitt's come clear, and this is Paul Langan, who dropped back earlier on to James Mulderrick, a central figure in this game. James Mulderrick, what's he going to do? He gives it to Brian. Will Brian have a shot? Ooh, that one didn't get any benefit from the breeze. Bad wide.
It was a bad one. I was surprised he went for that actually. I thought he might have carried it in near to goal because there's another forward running on his shoulder, and Ali Feeney was like kind of stranded where he was. I just thought he would be much wiser to have brought that in. They might have got something more out of it. But
okay, Alan Eddy, Dylan Gallagher, across to Diarmuid Gibbons, taking the game to Baholamoy Davids, and that's a wonderful score from Diarmuid Gibbons. That will give Island 80 a great boost. Peter Gordon, the sub, was involved there as well.
Yeah, that's a great score by Diarmuid Gibbons. Diarmuid has been playing excellent stuff this year. He's a student at DCU and he's doing that extra bit of training in Dublin. It shows the quality of his play. He's an outstanding talent and a bright future ahead of him, I think.
Kevin Kennelly coming over here to speak with Brendan Gibbons. I don't think there'll be too much in this one, Gary.
No, just a bit of a high tackle around the neck on Sean Mulroy, who has come on for the injured Dara Quinn and has played very well. Sean would be a noted hurler for Castlebar Mitchells as well, but he's very much part of our club too and has played well in any game he has appeared in.
Anthony Jordan. Yeah. Oh, Jordan puts himself in there bravely. There was no holding back there from Anthony Jordan or Niall McCormack. Jordan appears to be down. He's lost somewhere there in the dugout. I hope it's his own dugout. It is his own dugout anyway. That's one consolation. If you want to end up in the dugout, try and end up in your own one, I suppose, Jimmy. That'd be the tactic, wouldn't it?
That'd be much safer, I'd say.
But sometimes you can't control these things. Is he back out of the dugout? He is. He's back in the field of play. Dylan Gallagher, oh, beautiful turn. It's tidy to Peter Collins. Diarmuid Gibbons. Peter Gordon. Into the full forward Johnny Concannon, but again it breaks down, and good work by Paul Langan, and Conal Quinn was involved as well. Long ball, Reap v Feeney, one of the few times, oh, Brian just didn't gather the first time. He leaves it there for Ollie. Ollie gets a hand to it. It was shaping up to be the big jewel. Now Reap is trying to get by him. He's got the bit of pace there. Across to Sean Kelly. This is Kelly. Back out to Oisin McHugh. He has one to his name. It's not a second. Brian, if he'd held that one, was 1-on-1, but just didn't gather it, Gary.
No, didn't get it at the first attempt. Again, the ball out towards the sideline, which isn't into the danger area really. I'd be hoping for Brian to get the ball in 1-on-1 and with Ollie closer to the goal, you know. Out towards the sideline isn't where you'd be playing to his strengths, you know.
Yep. Long kick out. Straight to Shamey Lally. Peter Collins. He gets through so much work in the middle of the field, Peter Collins. Island 80, there's a presence of Paul Langan inside, is dissuading them from going long, and now they're carrying it, and this is a good run from Paul Ruan, but now Danny McGowan. Danny rides a heavy tackle. Peter Gordon, did he throw it? Whether or which, anyway, it was stolen by Mark Regan. And Sean Mulroy. Long ball inside towards Brian Heenahan. Good work by the defence. Collins is the man to tidy again. This is an interesting phase in the game as both sides see who can get an upper hand on it. This is across to Dylan Gallagher. That was a great pass across the field from Noel Regan, or from Shamey Lally. Dylan Gallagher kicks a bit hurriedly. Would have been advised to probably work it back out the way a bit, Jimmy.
Yeah, that was a bit rushed. There was an opportunity there. Both sides have missed a couple of good chances now by just kicking from low percentage angles, you'd have to say.
Okay, Pádraig Ruan leaves Peter Collins in his wake. Still going. He could be in a shooting position very soon, Pádraig Ruan. But that one is not going to come in either. And another bad wide. Jimmy, just right now it's like some team needs to get their hands on this again.
Yeah, there's a bit of anxiety out there on both sides. And I have to say, I need to have come out with a renewed sense of purpose. And I'd say they have rattled Moy Davids a bit.
Okay.
Here they are on the attack.
Here they come. Anthony Jordan. He's involved in a few battles today, Anthony Jordan. Mulderrig to Brian Heenahan. Brian shoots on sight. And again,
that's 3 bad wides for us, and 3 bad wides on the near side. You know, the wind in the first half was taking the ball out to the left, but that's 3 bad wides on the right hand side of the goal for Moy Davis. The shots are a bit rushed by Brian there and Pádraig Ruan earlier on. Should be taking the ball and keeping it in hand on a day like today.
Okay. Noel Feeney goes short to Ollie. Diarmuid Gibbons. He's been impressive in this second half. It took a bit of a late one there. Kevin is going to go back to speak to the player in question. I'm not sure who it is. Is it Sean Mulroy or Alan Burke?
Yeah, I don't know. Alan seemed to stick out a leg there or not. Whether it could be a black card here for a trip. I don't think there was any malice in it really. He was just trying to slow him down, I think, but caught the Island 80 centre back.
Fading light here as well too at James Stephens Park. It'll be a yellow card for Alan Burke, and Diarmuid Gibbons is back up and at it again as well. Free for Moy Davids from where the ball landed, as the old saying goes. Kicked away again by Island 80, and Conal Quinn, who's been impressive at corner back, on the ball. Dylan Gallagher. Diarmuid Gibbons. Gallagher. Oh, he's trying a lot. It's not necessarily a day for the acrobatics he's trying, but he's held his possession well there. Peter Collins. Oh, he was trying to pick out a man inside, just didn't get it there. And Pádraig Ruan can release Moy Davids again. Mark Regan into Brian Reap. Brian pops it quickly to Alan Burke. Burke coming in. Burke still going. Oops, was it? No. There was a moment when it might have been a penalty, but he ended up not executing very well, Gary. He fist passed, maybe thinking he might get a point, but he was going to ground at the time.
Probably carried it a bit too far. Probably should have looked outside to someone, took it into the danger area, but then a bad fist pass just into the goalie's hand.
Can Island 80 profit at the far end? Dylan Gallagher as Oisin McHugh for company. He's at a flick there. It's a sideline ball for Island 80. Gallagher leaving it to Brendan Gibbons. Would he ever? Would he ever? Let's see. Taken aside by the ever reliable Christopher McGlynn. Let it go now, Christopher, before you make a liar out of me. Anthony Jordan has done good work out the middle of the field for Moy Davids. Has put himself about a lot. James Mulderrig likewise. Into Brian Reap. They beat the sweeper with this one. Reap just doesn't hold his footing. Oh, nice turn inside. He's beaten them again though. Across, right across all the way to Brian Heenahan. And it is goal. Goal for Moy Davids. Brian Heenahan the scorer, and that is very important.
Very important score, especially with the way the game has been going. We have the chances, but we had a few bad wides, but the boys worked the ball very well there from Alan Burke and Brian Reap and got the overlap and gave it to Heenan, who fisted it to the net.
We'll get Jimmy Lyons to do that in a moment. Brian Heenan fisted it to the Pam net, and it was Brian Reap who did a lot of the good work, Jimmy.
Yeah, it was all about Brian Reap there. Very smart turn and the overlap. These Moy Davis lads are capable of doing. They have that football ability, and they just walk the ball into the net in the end.
Yeah, they punished there. They certainly punished there, but will they be punished at this end? It's Brendan Gibbons fouled by Mark Regan. 2-6 to 8 points, and it's a chance for Moy Davis to spring 2 substitutes.
Yeah, good opportunity for Moy Davis to be on subs. They've got the momentum. They Lady are struggling around that third quarter of the field. I think that Lady don't get a goal very shortly. This game could be won by Moy Davis by a smaller bit of a margin.
Danny McGowan has pulled one back for you. We're going to see that goal again, and Gary's going to talk us through it. So he's going to come up on the right, Gary.
Yeah, it was good work here from Alan. Alan Burke gave it to Brian Reap. Brian slipped inside, gave it back to Alan again, who fist passed it across to Brian Heenan and palmed it to the net. It's a good overlap and score.
Yeah, we should acknowledge Alan Burke's role there as well. And and he was in on goal a few minutes earlier as well. So he's having an impact on this game, and that was certainly a big moment, that goal for Moy Davits. They didn't start well, but they're looking the dominant side now. Here's Brian Heenan, the goal scorer. Checks back, gives it inside to Anthony Jordan. And his hard work today rewarded, Gary, with that point.
Yeah, Anthony has come into the game now as the second half has worn off. A very good footballer, very talented. Didn't get going too much in the first, but has come on now into the second half, playing very well.
He's on the ground now, whatever happened. And referee Kevin Kennedy is going to go back and check. He is writhing in apparent agony on the ground, holding his face. And I'm not sure did any linesman see anything. It was Kevin Kennedy is going into his umpires in there. Did anybody here see anything? I think I'm getting...
I didn't see anything. I think Ollie Feeney was the man nearest to him. Ollie is holding the ball there now. But he's gone into his umpires. There's no... The linesmen don't appear to have seen anything.
Okay, well, Kevin is coming out. We'll know the outcome of his deliberations very soon. He's running out, calling Ollie Feeney. There's no doubt that Ollie was the man. If anything did happen, it was Ollie. He was the nearest man. He was the nearest man. But let's see. He's come back in again to consult. One second. There may be a case of mistaken identity. Come back in to consult. Anthony Jordan is back on his feet. He's got an ice pack to his mouth, and Kevin is in confirming. It's getting very dark here, actually. It's a really dark evening. There aren't matchday floodlights here, and he has waved it on. I think nothing is happening. He initially came out to speak to Ollie Feeney and has waved it on. Anthony Jordan seems to fit in well again. So it's as you were here at James Stephens Park. Moy Davits 4 points up. The substitute for Island 80.
Barry Welch, number 18. Very, very talented young fellow. He was with Conor Grubby for a while. Great young lad, great attitude. So we got Barry Welch on there, Martin Gallagher, and a double substitute while the referee was doing deliberations there.
Yeah, great point from Barry Welch. It leaves 3 in it. There is no doubt that Island 80 are hanging in here, and despite the hammer blows of the goal, it was a nudge from James Mulderrick. James, you were never going to get away with that one. Gary, you were keeping yourself at times, but you wouldn't be that obvious.
He was hoping, I think James was hoping the wind had carried over the Island 80 man's back, but it didn't work, and he put his elbow up on his back, so it's off free.
You got to be a little bit cuter than that, Gary.
Definitely.
Yeah, it didn't work out for James, but God loves a trier. Now Danny McGowan, Brendan Gibbons looking for it. Dylan Gallagher back to McGowan with the left. That won't come in either, and that's another frustrating miss for Island 80. Probably a chance, Jimmy, to work it out, not to shoot.
Absolutely. Again, it was a low percentage shot in these conditions, and they're only 3 points behind. If they could work another point, get 2 points. Moy Davits are playing in fits and starts. They are capable of getting goals, but otherwise they aren't playing very consistently.
There's a well-placed kick out from McGlynn. I'm going to talk to Gary about him in a moment. He looks a right good one in goal for Moy Davits. He has made saves, he's come off his line, and that was a pinpoint kick out. Mark Regan inside, nice turn inside by Sean Kelly. Kelly has Brian Heenan, who has come into the game a lot as well, back to James Mulderrick. James puts it up, it just doesn't come around either, and that one has gone wide. McGlynn in goal, Gary.
Yeah, as I said, he came to the club about 2 years ago. Chris has been a real find for us. We had been struggling with different goalies, and 1 or 2 had retired. So he was a great asset to us. He's played a bit of soccer, I think, with Manona, and I think Sean McLaughlin had him in with the Mayo Juniors last year. But he's a real class act as a goalie. Good kickouts, gets them away fast, and also a great shot stopper.
That's a free. What Brian Reap is attempting to do won't count because it's a free out for Island 80. 2-7 to 10 points. As Jimmy says, Cormac, still only 3 points.
3 points in it. I mean, I need to be calm now. This is the time of the game where you need to hold your composure, work the ball in near the goal. That's shooting from angles out near the sidelines. It's not on until like today. Island 80 are very much still in this game. A bit of self-belief now, and they can get this could go down to the wire, but they're making a few silly mistakes at the moment.
Of course, it's very difficult out there. It is very difficult out there with that breeze. It is easier talk good football than play good football today, I can tell you, because the breeze is having such an impact, and the best laid plans of mice and men gang after Glay time and time again out there. Another substitute coming on for Island 80.
Yeah, they're going to make a change. It looks like Paul Miles is going to come on there. We're not sure who's going to come off yet, but Paul Miles, number 20, that's entering the field. Paul's a good half forward. He's replacing Dylan Gallagher, number 7.
Dylan Gallagher has sold his last dummy. He sold a few out there.
He did played very well, Dylan. I think since he started, he was one of the more influential Island 80 players today. Played very well. Seems to have run out his steam a bit. Dara Rowan has come on from Moy Davis there. Dara and Noel Regan is coming off. Dara would be probably starting, but had an injury coming into the last 2 games. Hurt his hamstring in training 2 weeks ago, but would have been starting.
Okay, changes aplenty. Brian Heenahan, increasingly influential in this game. Brian Heenahan, steady on the ball, puts it nicely inside towards Sean Kelly. Anthony Jordan. Brian Reid fancies this one, but that's going to go to the left and wide as well. And shot selection is the name for it, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's they're not allowing for the wind properly. Obviously, they've had 5 or 6 bad wides. They could have this game put to bed at this stage. But as long as they keep missing, Island 80 are going to shout.
Yes, we saw last week's junior final where Kilmaine dominated for so long, and Lahardon McHale's from this part of the world down here in North Mayo rallied to get 2 late goals and to win the game. Can Island 80 do something similar here? Peter Collins working hard. It has opened up for him across to their left half back, Shamey Lally. Oh, good tackle, really good work there.
Good tackle there by Dara Rowan. He's just on the field, made a vital interception. Island 80 look very threatening there.
Yeah, Dara Rowan did really well there. Brendan Gibbons was that a double hop? It was James Mulderrick. Anthony Jordan nicely worked out of trouble, and James Mulderrick puts it over in front of Brian. Beautiful ball, and Brian now can try and work something. Gives it short to Brian Heenahan. Brian getting into a favourable angle, but another wide, and we are unfortunately running out of ways of describing wides at this stage, Cormac. We've had a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of wild shooting out there, extremely wild shooting. Even on a good day, some of them shots we wouldn't be taking on. My dad was starting putting they're not putting Island 80 away, and they seem to be kind of a bit jittery. Their fits and starts, as Gary was saying there. I think Island 80 aren't out this one yet. They need a couple of scores, and now is the time for them to get them.
Yeah, we have just over 12 minutes of normal time, just under 12 minutes of normal time left to play, plus whatever Kevin Kelly adds on. He added on a lot in the first half due to that unfortunate injury to Cormac Gordon. Have we seen him in the dugout, Cormac Gordon? Yeah, he's there. I see him there. And here come Island 80 one more time. Scores so hard to come by here now today. That one floats across. And again, a very low percentage effort, that one.
Suicide football, that is absolutely terrible shooting. No need for it whatsoever. He had opportunity to bring that round, to recycle the round front to get into a scoring position. It really is a wasted chance.
We're going to go back and see Anthony Jordan's point a little bit earlier on as well too, which was well taken. We'll get to that in a couple of moments as Island 80 send on another substitute.
Yeah, that's Liam Joyce, your brother Dara Joyce. Liam will going around the centre half forward position, or full forward. He's probably going to full forward now actually, and that's Johnny Concannon coming off. Johnny's a great man on possession, great man on the ball. I'd say he's running out of steam now at this stage.
Okay, and this is the Anthony Jordan pointer on. It was very well worked by Island 80 and neatly clipped over the bar by Jordan, who's had a big influence in the second half, Gary.
Yeah, he was down injured there for a second now again, but he's had in the game wore on, the more it has wore on, the more he has come into it. He is a good player. There's a lot of mistakes by both teams. Both teams are making a lot of mistakes, a lot of shooting errors by both teams. I think the next score will be vital for whichever team get it. It could be the next score. Sean Mulroy on the ball for us.
Yeah, to Brian Heenahan inside. Brian Heenahan, great ball across to Jordan. Anthony Jordan taken down. It may or may not be black. He didn't actually hold him down, having fouled him, so it may not be black, but it was a sign of the danger that was being created that he had to take him down.
Yeah, when Moy Davids move at that pace, as we see when they take the ball in hand and move at that pace, Sean Mulroy has huge pace coming out of defence. Pádraig Ruan has huge pace. Brian Heenahan, I think today isn't a day for showing our skills, which is the wind is playing havoc with our game today, but the conditions we have to play them, no matter what day it's on, we have to play it,
Yellow card for Martin Gallagher, the Island 80 number 12, and a chance for, I presume, Brian Reap to pop one over the bar which would open the gap to 4. It is 27 to 10 here at James Stephens Park in Ballanoa on MayoGATV.com. As we've been saying, we have the senior semi-finals tomorrow. Castlebar Mitchells versus Gary Moore and Claremorris versus Ballintubber. Two very interesting games, particularly with Claremorris coming out of the pack this year to qualify for a semi-final, having beaten Brafey last weekend. Here he is, Brian Reap. Leaves no room for doubt whatsoever the way he tapped that one over. 4 to the good now for Island Eddie. The final 10 minutes of this Eddie Egan Jewelers Mayo Intermediate Football Championship semi-final. Ollie, well pressurised by Pádraig Ruan. It's really messy there now, but well done by Brian Heenan. Brian dances beautifully. He deserves a score for that work. Probably the score of the day. The score of the day, I'd imagine that one.
Yeah, great turnover by the lads. Great work by Brian. He finally got on the scoreboard. Brian would be one of our better scorers always, you know, and has worked hard today. Got the penalty and the goal, but has got his first point of the game. A great score from a great turnover.
Yep, we'll see that one again. Brian Heenan was involved in the work.
Yeah, as I said, it was Pádraig Ruan at the start, and then gave it tackled Pádraig. I think Rob Dollyfini got in. Brian got the break and carried the ball and over the bar.
And it was as much about the effort to create it as the actual finish. I think it was about the way that they broke the ball. They broke the Lady team coming out, took the ball and pointed.
Well, that would be in any team's motto. You say your forwards are your first line of defence, and it's a great morale booster to the lads back at the back for the forwards to get a turnover like that and get a score out of it as well. Yeah,
that's a free off the ball. Kevin Kelly saw something inside, and a chance now for Island Eddie to narrow it. It's 2-9 to 10. They scored 7 very early on and haven't added much to that. That is one from Danny McGowan. It hasn't been his day on the kicking front overall, but has never shirked the challenge.
No, Danny won't give up. Danny's that kind of a guy. Dragging and pulling inside by my dad was full back on Brendan Gibbons. That's what the foul was given for. Good referee and actually good spot that.
It's always good referee when it goes your way, Cormac, isn't it? It was well spotted. Yeah, no, in fairness, some referees are very vigilant because it is a very frustrating thing for a forward to be pulled inside when he's trying to make a run. Brendan Gibbons is a game inside man as well. So there's is that Mark Regan?
It's Cormac Healy, yellow card for Cormac. He was carrying the ball out there and seemed to put his hand into the face of one of the Island Lady attackers. So a soft turnover for us.
Inside to the corner.
That's Paul Moylett on the ball.
Sub Paul Moylett there, as Cormac says. This is Brendan Gibbons back to Shamie Lally it was. Whoops. There's a free out for Moy Davitz, who are, I suspect, gradually sucking the life out of this one, Gary.
They seem to be putting the squeeze on Island Eddie. There was a great tackling there by Dara Ruan. He's just not long on the field. A great turnover there again by Dara. So we're on top at the minute, but we need scores.
Just to name check the Moy Davitz management team. The manager is Pat Clark, of course, the over 40s player, and selectors Brian Hughes, Jimmy Byrne and Patrick Ruan, former players, of course, and wise old heads there, as wise young old heads, if you know what I mean. And Island Eddie on the attack. This is better from them. This is Tom Gibbons. Tom has a man calling over on the right, just doesn't see him. Danny McGowan puts it across there, and it's going to be Dara Ruan who tidies up, Roisin McHugh who tidied up. Roisin McHugh, and they're coming clear again. That's Alan Burke. He's been involved in lots in the second half. Brian Reap to Jordan. Oh, beautiful fist pass on the hop, and a beautiful finish from Moy Davitz. There was Sean Kelly who finished it, but it was a beautiful fist pass on the hop from Derek. He hopped the ball, and before Ollie Feeney came, he popped it inside.
Yeah, a great move again from us. A ball won from the deep, moved up through the lines into Anthony and Sean and James, and a great score by Sean Kelly.
Good work there, Jimmy.
Yeah, excellent play. Again, that's what they're capable of when they do get it right. get it very right, and but they've only been doing that spasmodically today. But enough time to now get the whole.
Okay, there's a sub coming on, Liam Byrne for Brian Heenahan. Brian has picked up a knock. No doubting the value of his contribution today. He's been very, very good for Moy Davits, particularly in that second half. He played a kind of a playmaker role out the field, setting it up, moving the ball on, and generally using it very wisely, though he did, I think, kick one wide.
Kicked one wide but scored the penalty. Crucial time for Moy Davits, and got the goal in the second half as well. But picked up a knock there. I suppose it's better to be safe than sorry at this stage. Liam Byrne, a good sub to bring on, a good young player.
Peter Collins inside, well taken inside by Darragh Joyce. They're going to give him that one. Nice one.
Super score with Darragh Joyce off his left foot. Pat Carlin's come on there from Island Lady as well. Pat's a great ball grabber. He'll make a bit of a difference to it. There's a bit of freshness there in the Island Lady forward line. Island Lady keep going. The game is not over yet, but you have to fancy Moy Davits because the intensity they've raised the intensity of their game in the defence. We got to stick at it.
2-10 to 12. Good work by James Mulderrick. Conal Quinn. Mulderrick again, high tackle. And Mark Regan up to Sean Kelly. This is the substitute Liam Byrne, just on the field, makes the angle for himself. Nothing wrong with that in a sub.
No, great score. Liam has a quality left foot. You know, he was on the Mayo minor team there a couple of years ago, and as a quality forward, just has been working away. And along with a lot of our team, you know, I think 9 of this team are away in Dublin. You know, so it's hard work for the management to get training. I think they've been training at Lone the last few weeks, one night a week, trying to get the lads together.
So it looks to be paying off so far. 11 to 12 points here at James Stephens Park. It will take something special from Island 80 now to pull this one out of the fire. And fire is where everyone would like to be at the moment. And I say a few will be at an open fire before too long. And it mightn't only be the fire that will be warm this evening. Inside to Darragh Joyce. Conal Quinn was a bit heavy-handed there. He was being vigilant though as a cornerback. He was right up beside his man. And
he was right beside his man. A bit, I don't know, was it a free look 50-50, but the two of them went to ground, so the forward usually gets the rub of the green in them situations.
Gary, you're a forward now, Gary. You've got to change your tune now.
Yeah, that's what I'd be looking for, you know, when I'm playing now. One or two of them soft frees.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a reconverted back. Darragh Joyce slipped as he kicks it. Peter Collins in our father's time.
Yeah, he could have tried that now. He might look well on the Sunday game doing that one.
It's like something from the 3 in a row of the 60s, Jimmy, wasn't it?
Yes. Obviously not as well executed. People players of today don't practice that particular skill, I don't think.
Don't kick the laces anymore.
No laces to kick.
So 11 to 12. Moy Davits, Mark Regan, solid at the heart of their defence. Bit of trouble early on when Danny McGowan was running at them, but they've certainly closed off that avenue. Liam Byrne,
Liam on the ball,
fancying himself again, this time with the right foot. And right job, Gary. It'd be hard to talk to him after that.
That's for sure. Liam wouldn't be noted for a right foot at all. He's just about gets to sending it, I think, you know. So he's usually a left only. Michael Murphy just coming on now for Moy Davits, and Paul Langan going off.
And the problem with fellas who kick one with the rig foot is they get very encouraged then, don't they? They keep at it.
Well, he has been told that for years now to try the right, but he usually doesn't put it into practice. He must be under pressure there when he tried it.
Okay. Michael Murphy for Oisin McHugh. He's been good as well, Oisin McHugh. Nice footballer. Peter Collins goes high. He has never stopped going, Peter Collins. And not sure, did he kind of run through the mark a little bit there? I thought I heard I thought he was going to take the free, but again badly distributed inside by Island Eddy. Lovely turn there by Alan Burke. I'll talk to Gary about him in a minute as well. He's been directly involved in a lot of good things that Moy Davits have done in the second half. Brian Reap probing out to Oh, bad pass inside this time. Was that Anthony Jordan, I think, was guilty of that one? Perhaps, was it?
Yeah, I think Brian Reap got on a good ball there, and Sean Kelly had gone on the burst inside him. Should have possibly given it to him. Tried to take on 2 or 3, gave it back to Anthony. Anthony tried to find Sean with a kick pass, but it was blocked down.
Island 80 probing, but there are bodies everywhere now for Moy Davits. They have the shop pretty well closed up, it seems. And good tackling again by Quinn, and they've stripped the ball this time, and they're away with it. Barry Welch, the man to lose it. Conal Quinn, the man to do the robbing on that occasion. Tell us about Alan Burke, Gary. He's been quite impressive in the second half.
Yeah, Alan was part of the minor team that won the county three years ago. A man with huge pace. He's on the ball here again now. Always looks for the easy ball option out. Never overdoes it. But a great player, great pace. When he carries the ball, has great pace. They're handling a bit better.
Yep. Not going to be Island 80's day, it seems. 11 to 12 points. Inside to Brian Reap. He has kept showing Brian Reap inside and has done some very good things. And that's the one you might remember most of all, though. Took a heavy knock. Oh, a little bit of unexpected afters there now. It didn't seem to be. Oh, in fairness, I think is it the ball they're trying to break away? This could get a little bit messy now. It's getting a little bit messy. Or they're trying to prize the ball away?
I think it looked like that. It looked like Brian took a knock and just lied on the ball, and the Island 80 lad seemed to be anxious to get it. Why wouldn't the baby? So I don't know what happened. It's quite dark now.
Brian still has the ball. He's not going to let it go. If he was a wise man, he might let it go, Jimmy.
But with those Island 80 fellas looming over you, I think it might be the best course.
Keep the ball, Ali. You can have it.
Yeah, Brian has a final to play next week.
Going to prolong the, I won't say agony because it's been an enjoyable game, but it's going to prolong the inevitable. It is Moy Davits Day here at James Stephens Park. They will play Kilchima. That'll be an interesting final. They're neighbours, and a lot of school connections there and that, isn't there, Gary?
Yeah, the Bohola side would be they'd be fierce neighbours, some of them, and be related, some of them, so it's a local derby for the two teams. The two teams will know each other well. They played each other twice this year. Kilchima were in our group as well. Both have one win each. Kilchima won in the league and Moy Davits won in the championship, so it'll be an interesting affair, to say the least.
Yeah, Kilchima have made no secret of the fact that they were very disappointed in their final performance last year. It was the theme of the aftermatch interviews with their players as well. They wanted to get back there. They're back there, and they'll face the Moy Davits team, who have, of course, county final pedigree at 21 and minor level, and will be hoping to deliver at a higher level this year. So big prize up for stake there. Senior championship football next year as well, in the balance there. James Mulderrick and Peter Collins, no one has told him that this game is as good as over, and another bit of afters there, and this is getting very messy, and really messy it's getting now, and a bit unnecessary as well, you would have thought, Gary, because it's with a 5-point deficit in it, it's kind of as good as over.
It is, yeah. I don't know what happened there, Kevin. I think
black card
for Brian Reap, is it? I think. But I think Kevin, he threw the ball up there again. Those two players in for the throw, and he threw it to another two. It seemed to cause a bit of confusion, and added to the what was going on.
Added to the gaiety of nations. Island 80 refusing to die, going at it again. Shamie Lally inside. Oh, nicely turned and pointed by Liam Joyce. And Brian Reap has gone off on a black card. The player they're bringing on is John Gilmore, son of John, I presume. Yes. He's been playing for them before, of course. And Brian Reap won't forget his final few minutes of this game in a hurry. Still a bit of time left in it. We're deeper into injury time than I thought we might be. Here's Peter Collins with a free for Island 80. Takes it quickly. Dermot Gibbons kicks right and wide, and Island 80 4 adrift, 2-11 to 13, and Christopher McGlynn grabbing the tee, going to take this kick out. Kevin Kennelly in the middle of the field. All eyes on him at this stage, really, to see is the final whistle imminent. No, we're going to another play. Peter Collins breaks it down. Brendan Gibbons. Shamey Lally sprays it across the field to sub Barry Welch. And Barry kicks right and wide as well. And it's a long lingering one, this one now, Jimmy, at this stage. We're nearing the 7th minute of injury time run down, and there's not going to be a change in it. Island 80 getting some chances.
At this stage, you'd have to think now that this kick out, it's over. Island 80 have kept playing right until the end, but since Moy David's second goal, there's been an air of inevitability about it.
Yeah, second goal. Some great work involved in making it happen. There it is, there's the final whistle, and I'm going to hand over to Jimmy Lyons, who will stay with Cormac and Gary for some after-match analysis.
Okay, well, Gary, it's the final people were predicting. The bookies certainly had it by Kilchma and Moy David's odds on to get through today.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, as I said, they're like the near neighbours, it'll be a derby game. I think both teams were probably expecting this. They'll relish the opportunity. Both teams know each other inside out, they've played each other so many times. I don't think either team will fear each other, put it that way. They know both teams have quality players, though Culturemaha and Moy Davids have great battles coming up with the underage and minor under 21 level over the last few years, and both of them now are in the fulcrum of the two intermediate teams, so both players know each other well and have to, Moy Davids will have to up their game from today. I think they left Island 80 in the game, even though we're probably the better team in the second half. We left Island 80 in the team, didn't kill them off. I don't think we'd be able to afford to do that against Culturemaha.
Yeah, well, I suppose in some ways it's the way to get through a semi-final. Well, you haven't showed your full hand.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Now I know Dara Quinn came off there early with a bit of an injury, and Brian Heenan near on, but you'd be hoping they're only just knocks on the day. I suppose Culturemaha maybe had an easier game against Louisburgh, but it's as you can see, conditions are poor. You can't put anything down to today, really. I'd just say that Moy Davids need to up the work.
Certainly a game to look forward to. And just a word from you, Cormac. Disappointing in the end, but Island 80 did give it their all right to the end.
We did, Jimmy. I'd be very proud of that Island 80 side. They haven't really got to this level before. To come within 4 points of Moy Davids, it's a good achievement. They won't be happy with it because they wanted to. Obviously, they believed they could come and win this game. Moy Davids didn't really put it out of the game at any stage. We never felt that it was beyond us until the final minutes there. Certainly Moy Davids, the change for us was when Moy Davids got their second goal, definitely changed the game, and Moy Davids definitely upped the intensity of their defending. They turned over some great ball there in Island 80. But having said that, I'd be extremely proud of those Island 80 lads.
Something to build on for the coming years.
Yeah, that's a very young Island 80 team. There's a couple of older guys in it, right, like Ollie Feeney and Peter Collins, but apart from those guys, the team is very young.
How are you, Pat?
They're a very close-knit group as well. So I think the future is bright for Island 80 football.
Okay, and we'll hand over to Liam Horton now for post-match interviews. He has some of the Moy Davids. He has Pat Clark, I see there, I think. Yes, hand over to Liam now.
Yes, Jimmy, thank you very much. Pat Clark, the manager. You got praised at half time. You got criticised before half time for putting James Mulderrick in, and then you were a genius at half time, the way it went with the 1-1 before half time. That was a key move, that he caused damage inside.
He did, yeah. Well, James is a big man, we just thought that Brian might give us that bit of freshness around the middle where we're doing a bit of. We're struggling a small bit. We thought Brian's pace, and then we said when we got James in there, we knew what we had to do. When we got the ball, we kicked it straight into him. And to a degree, it worked well. Yeah, we got 1-1 out of it, So James came out in the second half.
It was hard to get Brian doing a bit of passing as well.
No, you said it, yeah. More into it for Brian and for James. And James, when he went in, seemed to do well, So
yeah, Brian had a good start, but got isolated then for a while inside.
Yeah, we found it hard to. There's a strong breeze there today, which was blowing right down the field, and we found it hard to get the ball in, And in fairness to Island 80, we were probably lucky to be winning at half time. Really, we probably should have been further behind because they had a couple of good goal chances and they missed a few pot shots that they probably shouldn't have taken, shot selections. But when we got the penalty, we just seemed to settle a small bit more, and we seemed to be a bit more, at the start we seemed to be just a bit all over the place. Maybe it was nerves or whatever, but I thought after we settled down, I thought we were probably the better team overall.
Yeah, the second goal was well executed, well created.
Yeah, we've worked on a bit of that, we've worked on palming the ball into the net, man, not trying to take the shots on when there was a better man in possessions, and I thought we've got a few goals like that recently, and it's the best way of getting them really if you can at all.
Yeah, make it simple.
Yeah, make it simple.
Make it hard for yourself.
Yeah.
And now obviously both teams had lots of wides as well. It was a very difficult day.
Absolutely.
Were you unhappy at times that you were shooting from too far out, perhaps?
Well, I thought shot selections, of course, is the key. We've talked about that, but some of the lads that we have taken shots from that distance are well able to do it. Like, you know, they're well fit for kicking balls over the bar from that distance. And today, as I say, the wind was tricky, like, you know, and another day they all go over, you think you're great. Another day when they go wide, it's the shot selection that's wrong, you know.
Would you have counselled them to be a bit less ambitious today because of that breeze?
Yes, we said to get it into around the D, especially to take shot selections on and, you know, make sure that we get into the right areas to make it easy for kicking as opposed to kicking from way out. But we got a couple of scores and they came on, you know. So
okay, you have Kilchmont next. Lots of local connections there, of course, in the county final probably next week.
Absolutely, I know Kilchmont well. Yeah, it's going to be a very tough game, you know. Neighbours, fucking Derby. You know, like, they'll probably be favourites. They're the better, you know, so they were there last year. They have a bit of experience on us. I know, but sure, we'll show up and we'll give it a go and we'll see how we turn out.
Gary's on all day up there about not an over 40s final. You're on that as well too. You have a junior B final as well. Is that next weekend too?
Next Friday night, yeah, sure.
Under lights
and Bacon. Yeah,
we'll get Kimberley Shamrocks.
We'll get it out of the way first and then we'll prepare for the Kilchmont.
Tour the parish Saturday and win the county final Saturday evening maybe.
Yeah, and tour Monday then as well.
Okay, Pat, thanks very much.
No problem, Liam.
Cheers, thanks very much. That's Pat Clark, who was a great Moy Davids player in his time and still giving service to the club. Christopher McLean, he featured a lot in our commentary. Donegal man, a big signing for the whole of Moy Davids. First of all, tell us about yourself, Christopher. What part of Donegal are you from?
Dunlow, Burtonport, so out west.
Are you anything to Frank McLean then?
No relation. Well, far out relation, I think. But no, I actually have ties here. Well, Belmullet. My grandfather's from Belmullet, so the Mayo blood runs on me anyway.
Okay. You've been involved in the Mayo Junior panel as well, I think.
Yeah, I was called in this year. Worked with Shawnee last year, and he was happy with what he seen last year, so he pulled me in this year. And Matty as well. I would know Matty a bit, so like that's where I want to be, competing with the likes of himself with an All-Ireland under-21 medal. Like, it's brilliant. Like, so.
Have you ambitions a bit further up the line?
I do, like, but I think the main ambition was today. We were here last year. We got beat against Westport. They eventually won the All-Ireland, like, and there was a lot of heart. This year we just put the foot down, and as you say, we're looking forward to next Sunday.
So we have two teams who are annoyed by the sight of Westport, if you know what I mean, going on to win the All-Ireland last year. Kilchmont in the final. There's some of your fan club behind. We'll name and shame. Yeah. Anthony Jordan.
That's it. Anthony likes the limelight.
But both teams, I think Sean Kelly coming here as well too. Yeah. Both teams watched on as Westport won a wonderful All-Ireland final. We're not in any way denigrating that. Mm-hmm. But it can be frustrating when you see the team that you were close to, perhaps. Now, Kilchmont didn't get that close to them. Yeah. Going on to do that. So that has been a motivation for you as well.
Well, it has, but you know, the main motivation is, I think we're a young team, a lot of good players, but we want to be playing senior championship, like, and it's one game at a time. So we are fortunate. Unlike Annady absolutely battled there today, but we were fortunate we came out on the right side. So looking towards beating Kilchmont now on Sunday, hopefully. That's the dream anyway.
Okay, Christopher, thanks very much for joining us. Okay, Sean Kelly is here as well too. Sean, that was a tough enough encounter. You started poorly, I suppose, but you settled.
Yeah, it was a tough encounter, you know. Anytime we've ever played out in 80, we've never got anything easy. It's always been a real good, honest fighting game, and thankfully, you know, we regrouped. We were kind of fortunate, I think, that we were only 3 points down midway through the first half. They were by a long way the better team, and the penalty came at the right time for us, and you know, we ended up going in 2 points up at half time, and really they were probably the better team. So from that position, you know, we know we'll have to work on that for next week, but thankfully we got through it in the end today.
James going in full forward, is that something you've done before?
You know, we do move around. Like, we have very, very good inside forwards, the two lads, but you know, if the ball isn't coming in like it wasn't, Brian came out as much to get Brian into the game as it was putting James in, you know. So like, James is a great pair of hands there. You've even seen his work rate where he turned one over and got a point. He's able to do that. He's well able to score points, so he can play anywhere. He's played in the forwards as much as he's played midfield, so we're adaptable that way. We can do that. We can make them changes.
Yeah, it was a kind of a game where every score was going to count, and that turnover you spoke about was in this corner here. Every time a score went over, you knew it was important.
100%. Like, they're nearly 2 point swings, you know. They had the ball, they like to build from the back. James got the turnover, not only got the turnover, got the free out of it, and it was a easy free for us then, which, you know, was massive going into half time, 2 points up, instead of they could have broke and we could have been level. Like, so they're the fine margins, I suppose, in these games.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Sean, for joining us. Good luck next weekend.
Thank you very much.
I think is Brian Reap coming our way as well, perhaps? Leslie Campbell has lost him to Jerry Flanagan on the way. I'll hold the fort for a few moments. We have tomorrow, of course, the senior semi-finals. Castlebar Mitchells against Gary Moore, and Claremorris against Ballintubber here on MayoGATV.com. Here's Brian Reap. Brian, how are you? Congratulations, good to see you.
Thanks.
You enjoyed that one, I'm sure. You had to work hard to win it.
Yeah, first 20 minutes was awful. We've put our hand up there. Ireland were absolutely outstanding. Came at us 100 miles an hour. I was saying there just to Ger, 2 years ago we were in the county semi-final against the Neil. The exact same thing happened, and we put the heads down and we got hammered out the gate. Today we dug deep, somehow managed to get in a half time. I think it was a point, maybe 2 up, and then kicked on from there. And as you said, really hard fought win.
2 good goals were crucial.
Yeah, of course. I think we've been doing that kind of all year, creating goal chances. Pat's obviously a forward himself. He always says if there's a goal on, go for it, and that's attitude we've always had. And Brian absolutely finished one brilliantly there, and the penalty as well. So yeah, there were 2 very different goals, but good to get them at important times.
When you come out the field, your brief was to get on the ball, I presume, and try and pick out James Muldurdig inside.
Yeah, something like that. It kind of wasn't something we'd planned to do. Me and Brian had played inside all year, and it had kind of been working to that stage, but we weren't getting much ball. James is obviously a massive man, big target man, so yeah, that was the idea, try and get a bit of ball around the middle of the field, and luckily a ball came in, James got a penalty out of it, and that really changed the game. So I suppose there's a master decision by Pat in the end.
For yourself, you spent the summer in America, but you've kept in good shape and you're back very hungry.
Jeez, I don't know about that. I don't know about the shape anyway, but yeah, no.
You looked okay out there today, no?
Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. Just got that kind of enjoyment back into it. I was saying to Ger as well that when I came back, Pat was like, look, you're not walking back into this team. We've won 3 league games while you were gone, haven't lost a game. So I knew he was under pressure. Didn't start against the Neil in the league game. As you can see, we've Daru and John Gilmore, Sean Murray all came off the bench. You know, really good players, under 21. Liam Byrne as well, yeah, kicked a great point. Like, these are lads who've played county, who've won A minor and under 21 medals. So we've got serious selection. So it was about me just putting the head down and trying to show that I was good enough to get back in the team. And luckily, you know, a few performances went well, and we've a county final to look forward to now.
Okay, well, the best look at that, Brian.
Cheers, thanks, I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Brian Reap, of course, underage star with Mayo, and man who is very heavily involved in driving this Moy Davids team into the intermediate final next weekend against Kilchmaw, who are neighbours of theirs, even though they're across the divide. Kilchmaw, an East Mayo team, Moy Davids, sorry, no, they're both East Mayo teams, of course. Sorry, yeah, it's Knockmore. The Knockmore divide is there. So the 2 East Mayo teams, they know each other very well. Then, of course, some school connections as well. And 2 teams who were beaten by Westport last year on their march to the All-Ireland title in Croke Park, their victory over Cullum Kills of Meath. So that's it from here at James Stephens Park in Ballina. We have victory for Moy Davids, as I said, and Kilchmaw. They'll play in the final next weekend. Defeat for Louisburgh, just up from the junior grade, and Island 80 disappointed not to make the intermediate final next weekend. Tomorrow, Elvis McHale Park for the senior final. I think coverage begins at 12:40, if I'm not mistaken, for the senior semi-finals. I'd like to thank our team here today. We had Desi Campbell, director. We had Matthew McCormick, broadcast assistant. Brendan Dowd, who was there as well as our editor. Conor Dowd, camera. Liam Hinley, broadcast assistant. Paula Ballester Murat on camera and broadcast assistant as well. Jimmy Lyons, our match analyst. Damien Brennan is there too as broadcast assistant. And our co-commentators, Gary Rowan and Conor McMurden in the second game. And in the first game between Louisburgh and Kilchmaw, we had Brendan Mooney of Kilchmaw and we had Colm Clark of Louisburgh. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody. They'll be rolling in the credits in a couple of moments anyway. And so that's it for Mayo GAA TV from James Stephens Park in Ballina. Thank you and hope to see you tomorrow. All right, okay. Thank you very much.